Hey everyone, the Talking Dads podcast is brought to you by Little Scholars Early Learning Center. Whether your family needs infant care, a preschool program, or before and after school care, Little Scholars' highly rated Step Up to Quality programs provide quality early childhood education at an affordable price. Visit www.littlescholars.net to get in contact with an enrollment specialist and schedule a tour of any of their 5 Lake County campuses. Here's the deal. Talking Dads fans are getting a little bonus. Mention that you heard about them through our podcast, and when you tour, and you'll receive $25 off of your registration fee. Again, that's Little Scholars Early Learning Center, where children learn, play, and grow together. We are also brought to you by Pub Fredo Gastropub. Pub Fredo was voted Best Gastropub in Cleveland in 2019 by Cleveland Magazine Silver Spoon Awards. We love Pub Fredo. Their menu is chef-inspired, always pushing the limits of traditional pub fare. The other night I had a burger, I believe it was called the Pub Burger. It was incredible. Cooked perfectly. It was amazing. And you won't have a problem pairing your favorite item on the menu with their great selection of local craft beers, crafted cocktails, and of course, an amazing bourbon and whiskey selection. I went with the Bullet 10-year with my Pub Burger. All of this in a cozy, fun, come-as-you-are atmosphere. You can check them out at pubfredo.com and on Facebook and Instagram at PubFredo Gastropub.
We are also brought to you by Marky Fresh Barbershop in Menor, Ohio.
Bro, I love Marky Fresh.
It's the best, isn't it?
Dude, I get cut there like every 3 weeks. My kid gets cut there every month
Every
and a
now and
half or
then.
so. Month and a half, 2 months, something like that. They do such a good job.
The environment is phenomenal. Everybody's awesome there.
Can I tell you a secret? I don't
Please.
even give a shit about the haircut. It is so much freaking fun going there.
Just to hang out.
Yeah. I have such
Just have a good time. Every time, man.
Yeah.
You get caught. If you want to be in there fast.
Oh, yeah.
Their whole app, everything, booking to get in.
So
It's so
easy.
convenient and easy, but you get caught up
Oh, yeah.
because you just want to hang out and talk with these guys.
You know what the word is? Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
So many shenanigans.
You don't want to leave.
It's so much fun. But honestly, they do a fantastic job.
They really do.
I look way better when I leave than when I get
You
in there.
really do.
I know.
So, yeah, Marky Fresh.
Yeah, book at markyfresh.com.
Book, get in, stay fresh.
What's up, podcast? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Talking Dads. This week's special guest is Ryan Parisi, guy who we've literally known forever. So he came in and had a really good conversation with us. He is a dad-to-be for a little baby girl. And so we're really excited to talk to him about what to expect, what to get terrified about, and then also what to look forward to. So we had a really good time with him, reminiscing and going through some dad hacks for him. Yeah, really good conversation. Make sure you check it out. Follow us. Share it with your friends. And have a great weekend.
In a world where moms continue to dominate parenting authority and a father's role is minimized in society, 2 dads take on the toughest parenting topics on a weekly basis, all while drinking bourbon. They are the Talking Dads.
Excuse me, sir. Your balls are showing.
Yeah,
Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna.
Chicago.
Chicago. You're out of here.
You're gonna have to check that bag.
Yeah, that bag.
Some
What's the
consider it
weight on that
bulky.
bad boy?
Some consider it bulky. I consider it carry-on.
Well, we successfully made it not even 30 seconds before we talked about Parisi's balls. So
It's a good start to the show.
here
man.
we are.
Listen, they are a good topic of conversation.
You should be proud of those bad boys.
They're heavy.
No.
There's that word again.
Was there something wrong with the Earth's gravitational pull?
I'll tell you what. It's a nice change of pace. So for 2 episodes in a row, we haven't had bourbon or whiskey here.
That's
Nothing.
true.
We've had
Yeah.
water
Yeah.
and then wine,
Yeah.
which wasn't bad. Yeah, we had wine last week.
Yeah, it wasn't
Who's
bad at all.
wine?
So we had a guy, Rick Rasinski, come on, and he's a brand. What's his title? Brand ambassador, I guess, for a distribution company. And so his job is to go out and find different wines to bring them to market. And yeah, he brought in 3 different ones, and I can't remember what they were all called. One was Opalo.
Yeah.
I think it was from like Washington State, maybe.
That was a cool one. That was good.
Might be
all
mixing
delicious.
those up. I don't know, but yeah, they were really good. I was toasted, absolutely toasted.
Oh yeah, it was.
Did you drive home?
No,
Of course not. Safe
Yeah,
5 minutes. Okay.
you all right there, buddy?
Yeah, no, we're cool.
Okay.
Yeah, wine was good though. I haven't really sat down with like a glass of wine
So
I
with
don't.
a couple of dudes ever really, and
there's
it was
only one wine that I can actually drink because it doesn't have all them, what is it, sulfides or whatever?
sulfates.
Sulfates,
Okay.
which is Bruno's wine.
Bloody Christmas.
Yeah, Bloody Christmas. Like, it doesn't give me a headache. I don't get, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, headaches is where it's at for me.
I got a
man.
case
like I
of
think
it in
of.
the house right now.
I actually
I didn't
felt
have.
okay.
Yeah, so did I. It was
Yeah.
weird.
I was surprised.
I was expecting-
ready. I had a Gatorade in the fridge.
Well,
I was ready to be hungover, and I was good.
Blue Powerade.
Blue Powerade and some
Excedrin.
Excedrin. Good,
Yeah.
ready to party. That was, you know my go-to back in
were
the
the
day.
days.
That was the Wednesday night cocktail.
Yeah, man. Parisi would pick me up in the minivan, stop at I don't know, Speedway.
It was always Speedway on 306.
Yep, grab some Blue Powerade and some Excedrin. I'm good to go, man.
And then it was Hobnobbers, and then over the avenue for ladies' night.
Oh man. Gosh, those were the days,
Being
man.
22 years old, going to ladies'
The
night.
Menor Circuit, circa
Oh, yeah.
2005,
6?
2006.
Yeah, 'cause
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, because I turned 21 2006, I think. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So man,
So good.
so long ago.
Get blasted at Hobnobbers. $1.25 beers, $2 shots.
I wanted to pull that move. I think it was Seinfeld where he had like the high score on like I forget what game it was, like Frogger or something like that. And he was trying to, and they were getting the restaurant was closing or something, so they're getting rid of that machine. And he was trying to keep the machine so his high score stayed on it. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because at Hobnobbers one time, I think you were there. I got the 298 on Silver Strike.
Silver Strike, yeah.
I had the
Did
high
that
score.
at, Wings. What was the wing place?
Oh, B-Dubs.
No, it wasn't B.
Oh. Wing.
Are we talking about the place?
The one in Menor?
Yeah.
Uno, where Uno's
Yeah.
Pizza
yeah,
was?
Yeah. What was that called?
Wing House.
Wing House.
House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it there too. I
don't think I had that, but I had a high score there.
270 something, 280 something. I remember.
Dude, the 298, I missed. Yeah, I was like in the 10th frame. My
Yeah.
third chance there, I got an 8, but it was amazing.
Yeah, we were loud. I remember that.
Oh yeah, I remember that was the same night Swaney showed up with a bowling pin with balloons on it because somebody bowled a 300 at like Palisades and he stole the pin with the balloons on it and he was carrying it around the bar. I'm like,
Telling everybody he bowled
How
a
fitting.
300 in his
yeah.
league.
That's amazing. Good times.
Oh
good
hell yeah,
times.
man.
Was that the same night he passed out in the snowbank with the?
I believe it was.
We came out of the avenue and he was in the snowbank, sound asleep.
Sounds about right.
Get cozy in there like a little igloo.
Yeah, when it's hot, when you're hot, man. You gotta go cool down. Oh,
get it.
like a little igloo on the outside of it.
Yeah, you know.
Good times.
So, before we get too far,
Yeah.
we have a guest tonight.
Mr. Ryan Foster Parisi.
how we doing, gentlemen?
In the
Longtime
flesh.
friend.
Forever
First time.
friend.
Yeah, forever friend. First time guest.
Yeah.
First time caller.
Soon to be dad.
Soon to be girl dad.
Proud of you, dude.
Girl dad, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got the news. Thanksgiving, I think is when you told the boys.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, I told you guys.
Told the world a little bit later.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. You're how far along is she?
22 weeks.
Sounds about right. Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Okay, yeah.
Carry the two.
Yeah, remainder-ish. Something. I don't know. I was going to be a math teacher once.
Yeah, we don't do math on
So
this show.
you're about halfway there.
Yeah.
A little over halfway.
Yeah, man.
May 24th is the day.
Nice. So normally we start off with like a dad profile where you talk about your kids and like who you are and everything. So you can just quickly tell us like your name and a little bit who Ryan Parisi is for the listeners out there, and then we'll get into it. It's a dad profile.
Yeah, I'm
It is.
Ryan Parisi.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi,
Steven.
Ryan.
Hi, Steven. Hi, Ian. Dad profile. I got some experience with kids. All you guys have kids, you know, so I've learned some things from you guys, coaching and all that stuff all those years.
Yes, for
teenagers. I was a dog dad before anything.
Right.
True.
My 2 labs, Leonard and Skinnerd. Yeah, I mean, I'm learning.
Figured it
you
out.
guys.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
I think it's a good way to do it too. It's like having friends with kids or having a sibling with kids.
yeah,
You know, kind of just
both my
seeing that.
siblings have them.
Yeah,
I mean,
like you get some experiences with that. You know, just kind of
you're
take
like a 30-something time uncle at this point.
6 times.
I mean,
With all of
I mean,
us.
with all
And
of
then
us,
all you guys, yeah.
it's just Uncle P, you know.
Yeah. But no, it's kind of like learning through you guys, and then obviously it's scary at the same time because
you go home with this one.
yeah, this one I can't be like, hey, go see your dad.
Yeah,
you know?
or you
like,
can't hand the child back and be like, all right, see you later.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go sleep in a nice quiet house with no distractions.
Yeah, it gets
know,
scarier, bro.
Yeah, like, well, and that's the thing. That's
And
what
it
I'm nervous
stays
about.
and it stays scary,
like,
but
you know,
you figure it out.
I'm responsible for this human being that I created. Right? Like, that's mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm super stoked. Like,
Oh yeah, it's exciting and scary all
I
at the same time.
cannot wait to hold that little girl and look into her eyes and be like, you are my child. I can't wait for that.
I'll tell you what, man, that's like an experience like nothing else. Like you could think about it all you want, prepare yourself all you want for it, but until it happens, it's like holy shit, like that.
Yeah.
Boom, like
It's
just
amazing.
a crazy.
So we talk a lot about and something I definitely want to get into is dads or men in general. It doesn't come natural to us. And what I mean by that is, yes, as soon as you see that little girl, you are going to fall in love and you are going to feel something that you've never felt before. At the same time, it takes so much work for dudes to get it.
For
And by
sure.
get it, I mean, you're going to be amazed at Allie. She is going to come home from the hospital and you are going to be standing around like, what do we do now? And she's just going to do it.
Yeah.
It's so
It's so natural.
weirdly natural. And I don't know if it's the connection of carrying a baby for 9 months or if it's just a maternal instinct. But I think that something that I wasn't prepared for, I know Steve has talked about it the same way, is it takes a lot of work to mentally say, this is what I need to do for my kid. It's just not easy. And to be fair, maybe it's not as easy for moms as we think it is because we see it from the outside. But it's just like across the board. Like moms are just fucking amazing.
They are, and it's like it's not like they don't have a choice, but I mean they don't. I mean they're the provider of everything. Like you are just a go getter. Like you go get shit.
Yeah.
You are just a gopher.
Oh, we're already there, and
Yeah.
the kid's not even here yet.
Right.
Like exactly, because when
Yeah,
they're pregnant,
yeah.
you're still doing the same thing. You're running around. They have a
Yeah.
craving for something, and
It's
or they-
tacos,
yeah.
nonstop tacos
Taco-
at my house.
sounds
bad.
fantastic, man.
It's not bad. Don't get me wrong, but there's only so many times you can go get tacos.
I mean, I beg to differ, but okay. Agree to
Taco,
disagree.
Taco Bell tacos, like that's what she craves,
Agree to disagree.
and they don't make double deckers anymore.
That's an issue.
That's a huge issue.
It is. That's kind of shitty. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh no, they took that Mexican pizzas gone.
I think they got rid of the regular
good
nacho,
stuff.
the nacho supreme too. I think they
Yeah.
only have the nachos Bel Grande now.
Yeah, garbage.
I just want my nacho supreme, that basic little freaking bowl. It's perfect size, and it's gone.
And again,
Why
when-
do they do stuff like this? You want to get in food real quick?
Amazing.
I have an issue. I have an issue. I have another issue.
Let's hear it. Get it all out.
So I went to Subway yesterday, and the owner of the Subway that's close to where I work was working. I ordered the steak sub, right? And he goes, "What kind of cheese?" I'm like, "Well, I want that pepper jack cheese." He's like, "All right, just so you know, this is going to be gone soon." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, they're getting rid of pepper jack. They're replacing it with Swiss."
Listen, I like a good
I do like Swiss, but what? He's like,
what's
he's
the
like,
issue?
he goes, he's like, "This is probably the most popular cheese we have." He's like, "But they're getting rid of it." He goes, "I don't know why they're doing this, but they are." I'm like, I okay.
That's blasphemy.
I said the same thing. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what they'll end up doing is like
bringing it back.
They'll bring it back again.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
And it's
Only
good
on a
marketing
specialty
technique.
sub, though.
It's a good marketing technique. Guess what's back? Pepper jack cheese is back.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? Fuck you.
I'm like,
You don't actually know.
I
I'm
haven't
gonna
been to
go
Subway
there.
in 9 years, but I'm gonna go to get pepper cheese.
It's like
pepper
the
jack
McRib.
cheese because it's back. Right.
The McRib comes around. And there's a certain select few people that really.
There's millions of people.
One that we all know.
Yeah.
We're
Do you
not
know
going to
I've-
mention names.
Do you know I've never had one.
Either have I.
I have.
Nothing.
They're not great.
Yeah. I've never had it. I'm all
mean,
set.
Now, I've seen, like, on Facebook, like, people making homemade McRibs with, like,
I mean, look, a riblet
Actual-
sandwich.
oh, don't get me wrong.
I'm all in.
Give it a whirl.
Yeah.
But it's McDonald's. Just give me a quarter pounder or a Big Mac.
McDouble.
Or you go get a quarter pounder and a Big Mac for $6 right
Yes.
What was that?
Yes.
At the Morley Castle, we used to make
McGangbang.
McGangbang.
McDouble. Slap that McChicken inside. Wash it down with a Shamrock Shake.
now. Oh, good old Shamrock Shake. I haven't had one of those in so long,
No
man.
wonder my arteries hate me.
They love you.
Dude, I could sit at home and be like, all right, diet starts tomorrow. And then I'm watching like a
One day.
Browns game or something like that one day. Yeah, exactly. Then I see a commercial pop up for, all right, 2 for $6. Big Mac, quarter pounder, fillet of fish, whatever you want. Mix and match.
10-piece
$6.
nuggie.
Yeah, $6. Like, well, I know what I'm doing for lunch tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
And don't get me, people think I'm disgusting, but I don't mind a fillet of fish.
I love a fillet of
good
fish.
fillet of fish.
Oh,
Got to have the right amount of tartar sauce.
Oh,
on it.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the tartar sauce.
Yeah, you're right though, because
Like during Lent?
not enough, and there can be too much.
yeah, there can be
I
way
ask,
too much.
so
on there.
you need to play it safe. Like during Lent, you know, like I'm gonna go get a fillet of fish.
Yeah.
Well, I asked for a side of tartar sauce just in case, because sometimes I get a little cheap on the tartar sauce. I'm not messing around with that. Also, I have an issue. I've had a few times where they miss the sandwich with the cheese.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and it's on the
It's like on the
roof of
it's on the box. I'm like, there's like a quarter. There's like a corner of it just like sitting on the sandwich. I'm like, what happened?
Dude, you paid $6.
Stevie Wonder
But
put
it's
this
like, I mean, these people
together,
are sitting
like-
back there just throwing cheese across the room. Kobe, just like, it's like
Ballin'.
excuse me, sir, you missed my sandwich.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know it's happened to a lot of people. It's just funny how that happens. But
It's
you know who wouldn't do
insane.
that? Chick-fil-A.
Listen, have you been through their new drive-through situation?
Of course. I got kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever developed that needs to like
Listen, here's
take
what
all
I
the
said.
other things.
Here's what I said. You know, right now there's the COVID vaccine stuff going on, right?
Yeah.
And
Put Chick-fil-A in
say what
charge
you
of it.
say what you want about it. I don't really care. The reality is the government would be very, very smart to convince Chick-fil-A that this is God's work. Open up on Sundays just for vaccines. They would have the entire country vaccinated in like a month.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Dude, they had that meme for the USPS.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like just get all those kids in USPS and that shit will be sorted in like a couple of days.
Right.
Yeah, everybody would have got
And
their
everyone
holiday
was so
gifts on
happy.
time.
They'll be so happy and
It's
so
been their
polite about it.
pleasure.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. My pleasure.
what Allie does is she orders that stuff on their app or whatever.
That's what he does.
I do
He was
too.
telling me about
I
that.
pull in there, parking spot 11 the other day, and this chick was out in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, not to mention the
everything.
rewards you get. So like I went to go get the
Free
kids some stuff,
Sammys.
some chicken nuggets or whatever, and I'm like, I'll get a spicy chicken
Best
while I'm here.
nuggets out there.
And they're like, oh, use your rewards and you get a free one. I'm like, okay. It's like every other time I go,
Yeah.
free sandwich.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I have like 3 milkshakes on hold.
brings all them
Just wanna
boys
grow.
to the yard
Oh,
too.
damn straight it does.
Chick-fil-A sauce is on point too.
What's your favorite sauce?
Polynesian.
Damn
Polynesian.
straight.
So
Oh, it's so good.
Sloan always yells at me like, I'll ask for a couple Polynesian and then a couple barbecue.
You
Like
gotta get
Gibbs
the
really likes the
barbecue.
barbecue, and I'll try and give her a barbecue, and she'll be like, "I want the purple sauce." Okay, fine.
Settle
Ian's
down.
like, no, those are mine.
Yeah,
Daddy got
Back
those.
off.
Well, you can go to Target now and buy that stuff in the bottle.
really.
No shit.
Literal Chick-fil-A Polynesian and Chick-fil-A sauce.
Really, I'm not a big fan of the Chick-fil-A sauce.
I like
It's
it.
okay.
Different, but the
I never get it.
the Polynesian sauce is
Perfect.
Just,
It's perfect.
It's so good,
It's nothing better.
it's like you want to buy it in a store. Like
and literally you can.
you can.
And you
it's
can.
amazing.
You can drink it if you want.
Yeah.
And I
I-
haven't before.
Yeah, I've never
I
done
want
that.
to freeze it and ice skate on it. And then
wanna be
thaw
in
it
it.
out.
That's being
And drink it in the spring.
Drink it in the spring.
All right, so
dad stuff.
We made it 5 minutes before we started talking about food.
Talk about food all day.
Yeah, we could literally.
We do. Always.
But going back to you becoming a dad, I was on a train of thought there where, again, it's supernatural for moms, and I think that I always try and tell guys that are getting ready to have their first kid, like, look, the mental preparation of, like, it just can't be done. Like, you're not going to actually be able to prepare for it. But once that kid comes, it doesn't get easy. I in fact, think it becomes harder because you want it to become natural. And what you're going to see is your wife just doing shit, right? And I think that that's something that you gotta kind of have to keep in mind, and I don't say it to scare you, I'd say it to try and prepare you, is like a lot of guys will come home from the hospital, and because like in the hospital, they almost set you up for failure. Because in the hospital, they're offering like, hey, you want me to take her to the nursery for a few hours? You guys catch up on some sleep, and like, hey, great, have at it, you know. But then, like 2 days later, they're like, all right, well, see you later. And you're like, do you guys come with us? Or, you know, because they do. They're there to assist you, and they're teaching you. And, you know, like she just went through a traumatic experience. Trust me, you're going to go through a traumatic experience on a different level. But, yeah, you get home, and you're just like, okay, now what? Like, how do we make sure this thing stays alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
Because it's terrifying.
It's terrifying, man. You get home, you're already exhausted anyway because you're not sleeping at the hospital really, and then you're going home, and who knows what your situation's going to be like, how the kid's going to be.
Right.
You know, we spent a lot of time awake for the first few nights. It was brutal. I mean, Liz was miserable, and I was you're just on standby. You just sit there in the hallway and just like,
yep.
Hey, can I help you? You're helpless. You know, you just kind of stand there like, I don't know what to do with my
helpless
hands.
feeling is what I think that we don't understand or don't prepare for, because you don't think about it. And why would you? You're worried about things like, all right, is the baby's room ready? Mm-hmm. Financially, are we ready? Like, we got to go buy diapers, we got to buy formula, or, you know, whatever it is that you guys decide that you have to do. And in reality, it's a lot slower than you expect it to be. It's just like you got to move through the hours versus the days. You know, so, all right, kids sleeping for a couple hours, and you think that that's time to relax, but really what that's time for is, all right, I got to make sure that the pump stuff is cleaned out, or I got to make sure that the bottles are ready, or I got to make sure that, where's the diapers at? Oh, I got to wash all that bedding because they puked and whatever, shat all over everything, and like all that kind of stuff, like you have to do, and then you realize that it's been a whole day.
Well, so what some people have been telling me is like, be prepared for the worst smells of your life.
You ain't got to worry about
You'll
it.
be all right.
I know you.
Me being me, I'm like, well, let's be honest here.
Hold on. You know,
Changing
like,
a diaper's not that bad.
No, you ever see those videos where like it's always the dad.
Oh yeah.
Changing the diaper, and they're like,
Yeah.
I have never.
You
been
know
in that
what's worse?
situation.
You know what's worse than that? Cleaning up dog shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dog
I don't
shit's
do
way
dog
worse.
shit. Dog shit. Oh my god, thank God my dogs don't shit in the house.
Dude, even cleaning it up out of the yard.
Oh, I got one of them claw things.
Just the smell of it. Even then,
yeah.
it doesn't matter. The kids' stuff it's easy. It's so I think it's so simple. It's not even a big deal. It's just boom, boom, boom. You're done.
See, one of my biggest fears is like, as they get older and they come home with the flu and they're just projectile vomiting everywhere.
I mean, trust me.
There's those thoughts of those things happening, and that stuff's they're gonna get sick. It's gonna happen. I don't remember my kids ever being that terrible to where it was like puke everywhere. I think it's
You know
more.
what though? We don't think about it because it happens. You have to deal with it in the moment, and then you just forget about it. Like on this podcast, you've told stories of Ben shitting in his crib and then wiping it all over everything because it got all over his hands. Like, and that's a disgusting freaking story, right?
It's awful.
But like,
you just deal with it.
You didn't even remember it right now. It didn't come to.
It was so simple because it was 5 minutes of cleanup.
Yeah.
Throw him in the tub, spray him down, clean the tub out, clean up his stuff, and he's back to sleep, and I'm back on the couch again. It's like those type of things happen, and it's not every night. Those things happen once, and then it's never again.
You're going to run through your 3-4 day spells where kid's not feeling well or whatever. It is what it is. That kind of stuff doesn't stick with you.
It's them being sick and you feeling bad for them.
Right. Like that's what I remember.
That's what sucks. You feel terrible because it's so helpless, and they're
knowing that you can't make them feel better.
There's nothing you could do, and they're miserable, and they're in pain, and they just don't feel good. It sucks.
Well, secret time too is, especially with Sloan Gibbs, he wasn't as much of a cuddler, but Sloan is. And when she would get sick, or when she does get sick, all she wants to do is snuggle. And secretly, it's
glorious.
Amazing when they're sick, because you just like lay down on the couch, put a movie on.
They stay still.
Back to the Future.
All the time.
Doesn't get better than that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's great because you can just like snuggle and
it's the
just
best.
relax. I'm like, oh, babe, don't worry about it. I got it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And
you wanna tell-
baby Bajorn and start playing duty?
Right.
Hell yeah, man.
I've done it.
We all have.
100%.
And there's nothing more comfortable than when you're laying on the couch, like at the beginning stages when you're cuddling with them and you're just trying to get them to fall asleep.
They don't weigh anything.
And they're just so warm and cuddly, and you're like, you start dozing off. And that's like the thing you hear about. It's terrifying because it's very dangerous.
Right.
And it's very easy to pass out.
Yeah, you don't want to pass out.
No, but it's easy to.
But I feel like if you do pass out, like you still have that one eye open kind of thing.
You have. So here's the thing. I mean, I get it when you hear these stories of things happening because you're so exhausted. Shit happens. At the same time, you're so alert and you're so on edge, I think, a lot of the time.
I mean,
there could be a noise.
I guess
you
we
jump
all
up sometimes.
say that.
But it can happen. It's very simple.
It happens.
It does, and that's what I mean.
Right?
Like you could be so exhausted, and I've never been that exhausted in my life. At first it's like making that transition from being able to sleep as long as you want and like getting a good night's sleep, and all of a sudden it's like, man, I'm up. I'm getting like 3 hours of sleep.
Right.
It sucks. And then I could do that all the time now.
Right.
I mean, now that I'm like, we're 5 years in, and it's like, man, I get 5 hours of sleep sometimes or less, and I'm like, I wake up and I'm good.
Good for the day.
It's weird.
Yeah.
You get calloused. You're all right.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is, because you just do it over and over and over again, and at the end of the day, it's worth it too. You know what I mean? It's not like you're doing something that like you're pissed off about after the fact, because at the end of the day, you got your little girl. You know what I mean? And that's cool. What questions like are on the top of your head? Because I always like going through.
Yeah. You have any
Like what's going
concerns
through your head right now?
questions? We're here for you.
Not really anything right now. Like I said before, like I've seen all you guys go through it, and I mean I haven't been there during the nitty gritty or anything, but like I've seen what you guys have had to do.
Not too concerned.
Yeah, I'm not really too concerned. Plus, if I have questions, I'm on the phone with you guys.
That's true. And we're here for you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk about it. And like we always say it too, it's like there's no book you could read
No.
that's going to give you all the answers. Everybody's different. There's
There's
not.
you can listen to.
We have podcasts you can listen to. We have all kinds of stories on this podcast.
Well, that's
I've heard a lot of stories.
better than a book. Because,
Absolutely it is.
One, who's got time these days to sit down and actually read?
And a book is, and depending on which book it is, it's one way.
One person's perspective.
Yeah. I mean, who's not to say that they've done a lot of studies and whatever, but at the same time,
But even if they have, like,
it still might not apply to you.
Yeah.
So here's another thing too, is something you might want to think about is you have dogs.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what we did when, with both kids, like right before when Sam was born, we had his blanket that he was wrapped up in, and we sent it home with Liz's mom. We said, take this home and give it to Teddy. Let him sleep with it, put it by his face, get him used to that smell. And then like when we brought Sam home, Teddy came up to Sam and just we had him sniff him and kind of check him out a little bit while he was in his carrier, just so they could get like used to it. Cause that's a big change for the dogs.
Right.
And it's a scary thought, it's a scary thought. Cause you're like, you don't know how the dogs are going to react. You know what they're going to do. And it's funny how dogs are, man. It's like they naturally just become protectors of the baby.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Sam and Teddy are like 6 months apart, and I mean Teddy loves Ben too, but like Sam is his everything. Like he sleeps in his bed, he's always around him. It's like that's his best buddy.
Yeah.
And that'll be really cool to see the dogs with the baby too. That's
I can't wait.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Like Al and I talk about that. Like, how do you think Skinner's gonna be? Because Skinner's kind of a dick. He's like an ornery old man. Like you go to pet him and he growls at you, like leave me alone. It's not
I'm tired. Don't touch me.
It's not like an angry growl, but it's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
He's
Like,
annoyed.
Right.
And like Leonard's all about hugs, kisses, and wants to snuggle.
Right.
So, but I feel like Skinner's gonna do a complete 180, and that's gonna be.
You'll
like
see it, man.
his
They're nurturing. They're
Yeah, he might not. You know, it's.
and he just might avoid the situation. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dogs are, good judges of character, right? And there's no better character than an infant.
Yes.
Like they haven't had time to
Become assholes.
become
yet.
assholes yet, right? They haven't been disrupted by the world yet. So, yeah, I mean, I remember I have an awesome picture of when we brought Gibbs home, and he was in the what was that rocker thing called that we had?
The Mamaroo.
Yeah, the Mamaroo. And he's in the Mamaroo, and I like put him in there, and I was like, I don't know, going to make a bottle or doing something, in the kitchen, and I come back, and both dogs had moved, and they were just sitting, Jazz and B on either side of them, just like sitting up, just like kind of on guard.
It's pretty awesome.
It's such a cool picture.
Especially Jazz.
Oh yeah,
He's a
That's a big
badass looking
boy.
dog, man.
I'll never forget when you lived in Eastlake and I came walking through that gate and he was like that close from getting the old boosh-gadoosh, like
Yeah, dog was
he was
messing
an
around.
aggressive dog, but I tell you what, as aggressive as he was awesome with my kids.
well, he was aggressive to people he didn't really know. Like
Yeah, he did. He had barrier issues.
Yeah.
Well, it's. I mean, you could walk in the door and he would
walking-
like come in like full blow, just like barking at you, like
Right.
ready to kill you. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, it's you," and he just turns around and goes and lays down.
Right.
yeah.
He's like, it's his Uncle P
fences,
again.
doors, things like that. He didn't like barriers too
Yeah.
much.
No, but he was such a good pup though.
For sure.
Me
Great.
too.
Yeah.
Puppies.
Yeah, puppies. We're talking about getting a dog, maybe.
Yeah, you are.
I think you
It's
should.
about time.
So we were watching the Browns game at my house last week, and the first half, Ian was filling out a
An
what would you call
adoption application?
application, yeah, which was really frustrating. So I'm like talking to the guy, and he just was not acknowledging anything that I was saying.
Listen,
and
I was
First
pissed
half
off.
it
wasn't
was
too
really-
I was
exciting to
pissed
begin
off at
with.
how bad the Browns were playing in the first half.
And I was like trying to have like I'm like, damn it! Like I would react to something in the game. I look over at Ian. He's just in his phone. I'm like,
Balls deep in his
motherfucker.
phone.
Yeah, and
I was, yeah.
that game. We could talk about that at some point.
But no, we're it's been almost 2 years since B passed.
It's been 2 years already, huh?
Well, in late April,
Yeah.
2 years.
I feel like you need a dog. The way watching Gibson with dogs is like, I'm like, this dude needs a dog. Like,
Oh,
they
they
came to my
ask-
house and
They ask every day.
Gibson
Bring
was with
him
Teddy the
over.
whole time, man.
Bring him over and let him run around with my two idiots.
Yeah,
Tire
they
him
would
out
love
for
it.
me.
They would love it. Tire out my kids too.
Yeah, that's the best part.
But yeah, we're getting there.
Trying to figure out what you're
Trying
gonna
to
get.
figure out what's the best breed to go with, and what's we definitely want to do a puppy. We want
Well, it teaches the kids responsibility
exactly. And I want to be able to train. My dogs have always been rescues, so they've been adults. And while I love doing that, when you're a single guy, you can do that, right? Because you can take a little bit more time to break some habits and things like that. Not that I did a great job with that, but they ended up being good dogs.
They were
Yeah.
great.
But you remember when I brought B home?
Oh my god!
She was a mess.
She was a disaster. That poor dog.
Remember we
man.
were doing the floors in the back of the
Oh
house,
yeah.
and the door was open, and she peeked her head out, and I don't know if it was me or Arco that hit the circular saw to cut that piece, and she took off.
Feet just scratching on the floor, just running in place like Scooby
No,
Doo.
she ran
Gone.
outside.
Oh, she took off.
Yeah.
outside, and
She
Ian
ran
just
away.
on a dead dart. He was like 3 miles away from home after he caught her in a creek bottom,
Yep.
Jesus.
That was awful.
and it was cold out.
Yeah, it was like probably this time of year. It was probably
Yeah.
like January, February, something like that.
It was a nice day, but it was still kind of cold out.
There was
and-
snow on the ground.
Yeah, and all you had on were boots, jeans, and a t-shirt because we were hot from working.
Yeah, yeah.
And everything, and then he takes off after the dog, and we're like, well, we'll
No,
just
see you later. Just
working
keep
on the
going.
floor.
Just keep going.
Yeah, she was
Ted-
far.
Yeah, Teddy only ran away one time, and it was the day that Sam was born. It was right before we were getting ready to go to the hospital, and he took off outside, and he just ran down the street. And I was barefoot chasing him. It's January, so it's cold. And he goes running down the street. I follow him. He gets to another dog, and he goes to run at the dog. The dog turns around and barks at him. He takes off running back, runs right past me. And I'm like, and so I was sick when Sam was born too. Ended up having the flu, and I was miserable. Like I couldn't breathe. I was like from chasing the dog. And then after that, he hasn't run away since.
Just runs right by you.
He literally. I get to the house. He's sitting on the front step, just looking at me.
Where you been?
I'm like, dude, I just want to. Oh.
Dude, that dog scared me. What were you doing?
And then I was stressed out too because we're about to have a baby.
Right.
That's scary. I'm like, that's the first one. It was such a miserable day. I mean, it was exciting, but it was.
Ended up being a good day. But
yeah. And I'm driving Liz to the hospital. We have to go through Lowe's parking lot, behind there, and there's these big speed bumps, and I'm about to have a baby. So I'm like, hit the speed bump. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'm so sorry. I mean, I crushed these speed bumps too. Probably helped things along because we had like no time at all when we got there. They're like, you're ready to go right now. I'm like, best part about me too is like
halfway sticking out, waving from the speed bumps.
She's like, hello, I'm popping out. Both times with Liz being like, when she had when she was in labor or whatever, we had to go to the hospital. Both times I was just like, no, not happening. We're good. Like she told me that she was about to have Ben. She's at her mom's house. I'm at work. She's like, I think it's happening. I'm like, I just type back, fuck. I'm like, lay down. Just relax.
You're
I'm like,
probably fine.
Exactly. And I'm like, I have so much stuff I got to do before this kid's born. Like I have so much stuff to do at work before I have to, because we had 2.5 weeks left.
Yeah.
So I was stressed out. And plus with Ben, we knew that he was going to have heart surgery. So I'm like, I'm really freaking out. But yeah, man, it all worked out great. It's all scary leading up to it, but it all works out and it's exciting, terrifying, and just awesome.
I think that's a good thing to remember too, is like all these like terrifying things, like it's fun to reminisce about later because it all works out. You know what I mean? And not to say that things can't go wrong, because things can go wrong. Right?
They happen.
It's a crazy thing to watch it all happen and to see the doctors go around and do their thing. It's a well-oiled machine, and I don't know. I remember looking around being like, holy shit, like this is an operation here.
Sure.
And not that I didn't think that it would be, but like they don't. So let me ask you this: since it's COVID and all this other kind of crap, like, did you do like a hospital tour yet, or when do you do that, or do you even get to do that?
I don't even know if we get to do that. So like when we first met with the doctor, I was allowed to go in, and we went through everything, saw the ultrasound. It was kind of cool, like. That's when it was like for real, because we saw the little heart flickering, and I'm like, oh man, like, I got a little choked up. I'm an emotional kind of guy.
You are.
But then like the second go around, I wasn't allowed into that appointment. Oh. So like I just went to work.
Right.
And they FaceTimed me during the appointment. And I was like, I even said to the doctor, I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, because you can't be in there.
I need to be a part of this. She's like, well, that's why we're FaceTiming, and it's COVID. And I'm like, well, F COVID. Like,
yeah,
I'll mask up. I'll put on a hazmat suit if you want me to.
Right.
Like,
right.
So when we went to go find out the sex of the baby, they were like, yeah, you can come in. And so I go in there, and it's not our normal doctor. It's like a specialist person
you have
from the clinic.
Ultrasound technician.
Yeah. And so he's like cruising around in there with that thing, and like he's like telling us, oh, arms look good, back looks good, tailbone looks good, all, just going through. And he's like, hey, it's a girl. And I said, you want to fucking check that thing again? Because I literally thought it was going to be a boy. Like the whole time I'm like, it's a boy. Like my brothers had two boys. Like my sister's got one. I'm like, it's got to be a boy. And he's like, no pee-pee. I'm like, all right, well, girl it is.
It's so crazy watching that too, when they're just navigating around all that, and they're like, there's the leg, there's this spleen, his heart. It's like, what am I looking at there?
It looks like a blur to me, bro.
He's like blobs, and
he's like, nose looks good, lips look good. I'm like, what are you looking at? He's like, the 3D image. I'm like, huh? What?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
They're sitting there clicking around like I mean, it's just it's,
that noise.
Yeah,
I remember that noise.
Taking
taking
pictures.
And he's like,
they're so fast.
Boom, 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 and I'm like trying to watch a screen on what he's clicking on, and like, it's ridiculous. It's like,
well, and that's such a stressful time too, because like anytime they hesitate or pause, you're like, oh fuck, what's wrong?
Yeah. Well, and he paused a few times, and I'm like, what is wrong? He's like, nothing. I'm just trying to giving it a second to catch up with itself.
Well,
and
also like if they turn a weird way or anything like that.
You try and read their body language.
Well, that's so.
What's going on?
Well, that's the thing. Like with Sam, it was like boom, boom, boom. This is this and that. It was like pretty quick. With Ben, they started looking around, and like we had the same guy, and like the first time around, he was talking the whole time. He was saying what everything was. This time, he just stopped. Like he was looking at the heart, and he just wasn't saying anything. And it was like silence. And then my feet are just like curling. I guess like in my shoes, I can just feel like I'm tensing up because I'm like something's wrong because he's not saying shit.
Yeah,
right.
Fucking say
And he's been
something,
on
bro.
one spot for like 5 minutes. And then it was 10 minutes, and he's still not saying anything. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, I can't really say. He's like, you have to get a second opinion here or something with the heart. And I'm like, you'd be fucking kidding me.
Right.
And he's like, we'll have to set up an appointment to send you to wherever, you know? I'm like, okay. I'm like, no, we're going to do that right now because I need to know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, right.
It's
My
terrifying.
kid in
Yeah,
there.
you don't know what's happening. So like, I mean, it's scary because like Ian said, you never know what could go wrong. I mean, it could be anything. It could be like a deformity. Like, I mean, you're going to deal with whatever comes, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's still scary because you don't know what can happen.
You want the
unknown,
kid
right?
to
Like,
be
we're-
healthy.
Yeah, you want him to have.
Here's the thing: you're already in an uncomfortable situation where somebody that knows more than you about the subject matter is
Yeah, it's helpless.
in charge of telling you something that you can't possibly comprehend. Right? Like again, face looks good, arms look good. Like you don't know what the fuck you're looking at.
No.
So like you're already like as men, it's hard to put your faith in somebody that they're telling you not even the truth, but like something that's accurate, right?
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what you're looking at. And then you have this in your head of whether it's like the beginning or it's your second time around or third time around, fourth time around, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you have an idea of what it's supposed to be. And then when it's not, you're just like, okay, what?
Yeah.
Like I remember we had to, and luckily everything turned out fine. But when Sloan was like, I don't know, 18 months or something like a year and a half, something like that. She had an infection from cutting her toenails. Like we clipped them too close, whatever. Shit happens, right? And
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't think much of it. Like cleaned it
toenail.
out, some bacitracin, and
Yeah, just
wrapped
move
it up
on.
fine. Well, she got infected a little bit. And so we were monitoring it, no big deal. And then all of a sudden, like they're like, hey, we need to check this out, put her on an antibiotic. It got infected. And we're like, okay. Well, then it turned into actually her poop was like white.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
And I still to this day don't know if it was related to the infection, but it was right around
Probably,
the same
yeah.
time. It
That's
makes
scary
sense.
though. Like it shouldn't be
Well,
white.
So then they started doing blood work, and it's like, well, there's something wrong with her liver and this and that. I'm like, fuck, like, and they're talking about all these different kind of diseases and things like that. And of course, you're looking everything up. But I remember we
Google's
had to
the
go get an
worst.
ultrasound.
Oh, the rabbit hole.
Yeah, so I remember we had to go get an ultrasound to like look at everything. And this ultrasound tech, man, I wanted to throat punch this dude. Like he legitimately like pressed a wrong button and like froze the thing up, but wouldn't say a word. And so like it's stuck on the screen. He leaves and it's like it felt like an hour. It was probably 2 minutes. But somebody had to come in and fix it. And they're like, oh, no, I just messed up. I'm like, why didn't you just say that?
Yeah, just walk out of the
Like,
room.
I am freaking in tears over here. Like,
This is my daughter sitting here, and
luckily, like, it just went away. Like, we still don't know to this day. Like,
It was
what
scary though,
causing
man. I remember Liz and Chelsea talking
Yeah.
a lot about it, and she's like, "This could be something serious." I'm like, "Oh God!" Like,
Well, because again, Google and
but you still, I mean, yeah, you start thinking of all the worst things naturally.
like, we were looking up like what numbers were low and what that could be, and it's like all these. I can't even remember what they're called now. Like, again, you'll learn that you like learn stuff and then you dump it because you don't need it anymore.
yeah,
wait, what'd you say?
But no, like we were looking this stuff up and it was like, all right, like medication forever, and you have to get all this testing done like every couple months, and I was like, oh my god, like this poor thing, she's gonna have to deal with this,
Like it's like hepatitis,
right?
Like, that,
Like yeah, it was like
Literally, it's-
some.
something that
Like
you
and
can't
then
get rid of.
if there's any kind of mortality rate on any of these things, you're like, oh, what the fuck, and you start thinking like the worst, and yeah, like again, luckily everything was fine, and she's pooping machine. And
she's
it's
good to
all
go,
fine,
man.
so-
they're all pooping machines, man. It's just poop. A lot of poop.
Yeah, I mean,
A lot of fluids.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Right? You'll be good to go, man.
But yeah,
Easy
I don't know,
transition.
man. Like it's that relationship between you and the doctor or the nurse or the ultrasound tech or whoever that you put so much faith in to just like tell you true and accurate information that you once you get that information, you don't know what to do with. You know what I mean? It's just a weird thing that we have to deal with. It's like another language. I don't know.
It really is.
Yeah, it's all been foreign to me. Like when the doctor says stuff about
Anything?
women stuff, I'm like,
Cool. Yeah, I'll be there on the delivery day.
yeah, I'll be there to
Just tell me what to do.
get told that I'm a piece of shit and why'd you do this to me, and you know,
Just tell me where to stand.
yeah.
They'll tell you where to stand, and
Hold
you
a
stand
leg.
there. Hold a leg, and you'll just hang out. Like I try to.
Did you guys sneak a peek down there? Like, hey,
I saw everything.
I took a look.
It's so leading up
you
to
never
it.
seen before, but
Well,
not like
not like this. It's like it's not sexual at all. You're not like turned on by this.
so is it like the movie Knocked Up where the dude comes running out of there and he's like, "Don't go in there. Whatever you do,
Promise
don't."
me, you will not go in there. It's here's the deal. Like I have people, you'll have guys that are like, dude, whatever you do, just don't even look, bro. So I didn't, you know.
It's a miracle of life, though. You got
Big
like,
tough guys, right? Dude, fuck that. You're gonna be there. You're gonna be there. You're
Yeah.
in it. Like,
Listen.
you could have the choice to not look, but you're there. You're in it. You're just
Yeah.
standing there. You're holding her leg. You're looking at. You're gonna see everything, and it's not a. You're not gonna be like, oh, this is disgusting. It's actually pretty unbelievable.
It's
Like,
unbelievable, yeah, for sure. I would equate the scene to. This is gonna sound terrible. I don't even know if I should say it.
Alien.
No,
I hope. I hope.
like gutting a deer.
God, I knew you were gonna say it.
Oh, you'd be good to go.
Like there's just a lot of blood, a lot of fluid, a lot of shit that you're not exactly sure if that's supposed to be there or not. But you know, you don't want to poke it and like
Ian's just sitting there with the
ruin the
stick.
explode. Yeah, right. Like,
We've all gutted
I
our
mean,
fair share of deer. So.
Yeah,
You'd be good to go, man.
you'll be fine. I think it is. I mean, you know, it's cliche in the miracle of life and everything, but it really, really is. And I remember having such a respect for my wife afterwards. Like, dude, you just did that. Like,
Yeah, you're tough.
I don't know if I'm doing that. Like,
I give
can
them
guarantee
all
I'm
the
not
respect in
doing
the
that.
world just for being pregnant. Just for being pregnant, I can't even
Well, like-
imagine doing. You ever have a stomach ache? I'm the worst.
Oh Christ! Like I tear up if it's a bad time.
I
Babe,
just
I
had
don't
a
wanna-
pizza and I was on fire.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
Like,
Yeah,
babe, I
like-
need some soup. I don't feel good. It's like, you're such a baby. Yeah,
Like
I am.
I mean, and my wife's tough as nails to begin with. Like, but I don't know if I could
There's no
push
chance.
a watermelon out of, you know what I mean, something the size of a watermelon, like
Right.
through that area. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah, just think of a
It
good.
doesn't compute.
dump.
Solid
No, it
BM.
Had some rough ones.
Yeah.
I've had some monsters.
Yeah,
but
it's like-
nothing the size of a kid.
Got a breacher.
No, and
like,
it's like and people always say, "Oh, women this, women that." No, women are the toughest things in this world. The shit that they got to go through,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
and hey, I'll give them all the props in the world. Like,
you have to, and then you'll even more so after the whole thing's done.
when
And
it comes to child, like, we have the fun part. Like,
Yeah.
the whole process of it is the fun part. Like, we do our thing, and
yeah, you can complain all you want about like, oh man, I gotta at 10 o'clock at night, gotta go out and grab something. Oh man, I gotta do this and that.
Right.
It's like you don't have to do anything
you're
else.
all right.
Yeah, you're good, man.
we're not sitting there sick.
I like if I'm full from a meal and I have to lay in bed uncomfortably for a while, like I'm a nightmare. Can you imagine having a freaking beach ball connected to you and you try to roll over or do anything? Like, you even imagine how miserable that would be?
Right.
So I bought Al this maternity pillow. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a giant
Yeah.
U-shaped
These things
thing.
are great.
I want one for myself.
Hold on to that bad boy.
I want one for myself.
Yeah.
I used hers for probably close to a year after Gibbs was born because she didn't like it anymore. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't want it anymore. I snuggled up to that bad boy. It was awesome.
Great,
Oh
man.
my god, this thing looks great, and the dogs love it too.
Oh, yeah.
Wife doesn't
and
want to
they're-
snuggle, the pillow does.
And they're not cheap. And they're not cheap. So, like, get your
No.
use out of it.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
you'll
This
get your
thing's-
use
this thing's
out of
a
it.
monster. It's like 6.5 feet
Oh,
long.
yeah. They're good size.
It's good size, good size.
Perfect. Good
No,
size, nice llama.
Going back to, like, we have the easy job. I think going back to what I started talking about in the beginning is that's what'll catch you off guard, though, is like understanding that you have the easy job and being helpless. Because that's a hard thing. I just keep coming back to it because I try and prepare anybody for that, is that you're not going to have a job. You're going to feel very, very useless. And that is going to cause tension between you and your wife. And I think the more you can understand that, the better off you'll be. All you can really do is be a go-getter. She needs water. She needs a pillow. She needs whatever.
She needs to sleep, and you need to stay up.
Stay up. Like, I can't stress enough, like, trying to come up with a schedule.
A routine is the most important thing.
Yeah. I mean, I learned from kid 1 to kid 2. I mean, Sloan was so much easier to take care of just because we knew what we were doing. And that's natural, right? Like, that's to be expected. But, like, kid 1, every time he was up, we were both up. And that's just not good for anybody.
Here's a good thing is what we're telling you right now is very important, because I watched Ian go through what he went through 7 months before Sam was born. So I took advice from what they were doing. And the schedule thing, the routine we did with Sam, and it was amazing. Like, I was up from 8 till 2, like, where she could sleep, she could get all the rest that she needs, and then, like, she's on call from 2 till whatever time, so I could get my sleep and go to work. So, I mean, you have those routines where you guys get split up sleep and all that kind of stuff. It really helps out, and it keeps you guys sane too, because I mean, you're going to want to.
You could sleep too during that time.
Yeah, absolutely, you can.
But when the kid cries, that's your
schedule.
Turn,
yeah. And I would just stay up. So I would just stay up till, I would just watch TV, stay up till like 2:00 in the morning, and then I would hop in bed. Because sometimes, I mean, you're tired. You're not going to wake up for everything.
Right. Yeah. I got to the point where I would put her down like at 9, 10 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
And I would go back downstairs and make sure the dishes are done and all that other bullshit. And then I would just, watch a show or watch TV or
fall
work
asleep,
or whatever it was.
Play duty.
Whatever it was. And then like at 2:00, or leading up to there, I'd go in, check on her, make sure she's good.
Get everything prepped.
For Chelsea. Like, I would make sure that, bourbon cloths were right there, fresh diapers.
I thought you said bourbon cloths. I'm like, damn, dude, you guys got kind of one over there, man.
Some bourbon cloths.
Some bourbon cloths, just hold it over the baby.
No wonder why Sloan's sleeping so well.
I don't know what goes on from 2 to 6, but I'm like,
onto something there.
Talking Dad's bourbon cloths, soaked in bourbon.
There you go.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, well,
but no, ideas. Yeah, you prep that stuff, and then you can go to sleep, and again, it's impossible to think that, like, as soon as you come home, that's going to happen. But the quicker you can get into a routine like that, and then I knew from 2 to 6 or 7 before I had to get up, like, I was going to get that sleep, and I could go up about my day.
Yeah, you do it, and it works, and she gets enough sleep.
Yep.
And then, like, the second one comes around, and then you're just like, baby's crying, and the both of you are laying in bed, and then you just both pretend like you're sleeping. And just see who ends up giving in and gets up.
It's literally, I mean, that's so true. The first kid, you're both up.
You like jump.
And like, what can I do to help? And this and that. And like,
you're on edge.
You need to go do this, and I'm going to do this. And you're like, okay.
Second
kid, like, you're just.
Yeah. Please get up, please get up, please get up, please get up.
Still crying.
All right, she got up, yes. It's so true.
As she's MFing you the whole way.
Oh, 100%.
That's stupid.
Yeah. And then, you do the whole, like, when they come back, I'm like,
oh my God, what happened?
What happened? Like, you okay?
Were you up?
Get up?
Yeah. You good? Everything's good? You just wait till everything settles down.
Bag, go back to bed.
Like, oh, okay, good. Night, love you.
Yeah. You're the best.
You're the best.
Yeah, it's fun though, man, and the reality is you guys will figure out what works for you. What works for her works for the dogs. I mean, your family will figure out your stride. You know what I mean? It's like, running an offense. Like, you take the pieces that you have for that team, and you say, okay, what's working? Okay, well, we're gonna adjust. It's halftime now. We're gonna adjust because this shit ain't working for so and so, or this shit ain't working. No one's happy with this. And then you adjust and you figure it out. And it might take you half a season to get it down, but once you get it down, it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and then you realize you should have been running the ball the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead
first
of
half.
6 times in the first half.
Trust me. You knowing me as an O lineman and
Dude.
Good old number 79.
Yeah, got to pound the ball. Pound the rock.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
What was awesome, these defenses with the running game.
Yeah, you got the number 1 offensive line in the league.
Even with the
Pound
backups, man.
the
Like,
rock. Yeah, Baker met that dude.
Blake.
Yeah,
Balake.
a half
it was his
hour.
birthday.
Yeah,
Just met him in the locker room.
yeah,
We didn't have practice.
half hour before the game.
Boom.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
Dude, I just... Even going in that game, you're like, okay, run. First half, six times.
And it stinks because this whole season I've been so impressed with Stefanski and the schemes that we've been running and everything. And what I kept saying was, you know what I like about him is he doesn't get cute, right? Like, we know who we are. He does, like, there was games where, sure, you're like, I wish we would ran the ball more. Or I wish we would run more play action or whatever. But that's Monday morning quarterbacking, and we're fans. If we were talking about it, we'd be out there. But, like, it was just so obvious. Like, they're just don't have a great run defense. We have number 1. You know what I mean?
That's what we were talking about, too, the first half. Like,
Obvious.
I'm like, didn't they say that their run defense was terrible? Like, what are we doing?
And I felt like he got cute.
well, here's what I think.
Yeah, so
like,
he was just trying to be the
so they
smartest guy
ran
in the
the
room.
ball.
Let's switch it up a little bit.
and they got stuffed like two.
So then they got away from it.
Yeah, and they're like, oh well, shit.
That's
All
not
of a
working.
sudden
We got
they
to do
came
something else.
Yeah, it's like no, pound the rock.
You know what didn't help? Is Chubb missing those 2 passes.
Yeah, but that was later in the game, though.
But and then
I mean, you're
not getting
right, it
Kareem
didn't
in there
help.
though. Like just a little bit more, just try to see if it works because you know he's going to get in there and he's going to do something, and then, like, he just wasn't doing it, and it was so frustrating to watch.
I think he was probably, with Kareem, he was probably trying to curb emotions, right?
Yeah.
Like going back to Kansas City and him saying it was personal and all that kind of stuff.
But he was
And I
ready though,
get
man.
that. But
Kid was
what
pumped.
happened? Second half, dude's getting the rock, and
Yeah,
Guys pumped up.
again,
boys pumped up.
whew, boys pumped up. I have to get serious.
It's just
Parkman.
it was tough, man.
Makes the women in
But I'll say
Cleveland
this though. How about that catch by Hooper though?
Oh yeah.
And here's the thing, like,
God.
who the hell's Austin Hooper? Like, you know, like he's been a decent tight
He's good.
end.
But
Like,
it's our
previously,
highest
but he-
I
paid.
think he's the highest paid tight end in the league.
Like, I didn't really know about him until he came to the Browns.
Plus, he was an NFC South guy, right? He was with the Falcons.
Yeah.
And like, dude comes in, he blocks his ass off, and he runs great routes and catches the damn ball.
Well, that first pass that he
Me and
missed.
Steve
we're
were
like,
both just like,
what?
The highest paid tight end in the league. Why aren't you fucking catching the ball?
Next play.
Next play, he makes an amazing catch. We're like,
Oh, dude, that totally redeem yourself. And then that catch later on, the diving catch that he made,
oh yeah,
oh yeah, I mean,
saved the
he's a
game. Well, that
player.
part of the game, like,
Right.
to
and
that point.
even our second and third tight end, like
Oh, Bryant, our
Bryant,
rookie,
Harrison Bryant,
that kid,
yeah,
that kid
he's
is solid,
good.
man.
Njoku.
Njoku
I
had a
give
game.
Njoku a ton of
He
credit.
had a game.
For as much as like he was an asshole over the offseason,
Yeah, he wanted-
wanted
and he
to be
wanted out.
and everything else.
came-
Like,
He stuck.
play,
He
like-
stuck in there. I think Stefanski's a good example of just how awesome of a coach and awesome of a guy
he's an
he is.
actual leader.
He is, and these guys follow him.
He's making these guys believe and like buy into the system, you know, like
And you're held responsible for what you're doing too,
yeah,
which is awesome.
And
Well, and he keeps his emotions in check.
And
You know who he
you-
reminds me of?
Me,
Yeah. I mean, you'll know.
Bob Knight.
No, not even a little bit. No, like from personal experience, like Coach Heller, like Steve Heller, man. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
dude, like he
God
would get
rest
in your
his
ass.
soul.
Like he would yell at you and everything after practice or after the game, whatever. But during the game, like he was always so calm. Be like, all right, sorry, you know what you got to do.
Everything was a coachable moment with
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
Like-
Love that guy, man. Like,
Oh, he was
hell of a guy.
awesome.
I mean, that dude had like a real impact on me.
Oh yeah.
Like going back to my Ridge days, you know what I mean? Like I was never going to play football, and he wanted me to play. And
It's just a great coach, great guy.
yeah, great dude.
he up until he passed away and everything, like I kept in touch with him, and we would go steelhead fishing together.
Oh, really?
and things like and I mean, and now I keep in touch with his son because I coached his son at Memorial.
Oh, really?
And I got to coach with Coach Heller at Memorial. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
it was awesome. And like, his son Michael owns a landscaping company, and like Michael calls me all the time, like just to say, "Hey coach, how you doing?" And
That's cool.
and you want to go hunt sometime, you want to go steelhead fishing, we'll talk about my old man and stuff like
That's
that.
pretty cool,
Yeah,
man.
And
And you know Steve real well. I mean, he was a great.
oh, he was awesome. He never once Because, you know, like there's some coaches who will belittle a kid and then build them back up.
Yeah,
That was not him.
No, that's not his style.
Everything was, you know, you did something wrong on this play. Now, what do you got to do to fix it? And
He was so calculated.
yes.
Like, whoa.
Is that Toretto?
Out of all the
Toretto, stop right there.
out of all the coaches that I've ever been around or been coached by, he was always the guy that I felt like so much respect for. And not that, look, I always respected my coaches, and it's just the way I was brought up. But with Heller, like when I listened to him, I took the information in
You
because I
absorbed
felt like I
everything.
was going to be smarter for it.
Yes, and he was one of the guys that truly, honestly cared for every one of his players.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It didn't matter if you were
and it wasn't fake.
No, it didn't matter if you were a starter or if you were the 10th man down.
Right.
Like, he was always there. Didn't matter, you know. And even like when he coached swimming, like the middle
Really? I
the
didn't
middle
know
schools
that.
the middle schools have a swimming team now. It's
Oh,
like a
really?
combined thing, yeah. And I would see him. They would all get picked up at Memorial when I
What is
coached
that
there.
dude coaching swimming for? I bet he was amazing.
He knew everything about everything.
I mean, that's the thing, though. I bet that guy could coach,
Well, here's
underwater basket weaving.
Yeah.
Because it's more about building up and educating young people than it is about the actual thing that you're doing.
Well, like, and he would be sitting there like before the bus came to get him because they would have to go out to Spire.
Right.
And he'd be sitting there talking to kids like, all right, so when you're doing this swim, I don't know a thing about I can doggy
Backstroke.
paddle. I float, like, you know, I'm buoyant.
Your boy's buoyant, but
Yeah, cannonballs and buoyancy, like that's what
that's
I
my
know.
thing in the pool.
right.
You know, I float around, but like he would be like talking like technique and teaching them how to swim and how to become better, and like where a lot of coaches were like,
He's talking to you. He's not talking at you.
Yeah.
He's
and they're, like I've seen a lot of coaches over the years who like, well, you're never gonna get it, so you know, screw that, we're not gonna, like, that's
people don't react well to that.
no.
I mean, some people. So every kid's different too. So you have to approach everybody differently as a coach. I mean, you're a coach, and you know how that goes. I mean, like every coach has a different style.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When I coached, like, and if you ever come across any of the kids I coached, I was, especially when I coached girls basketball, like, I was loud, and I told them straight off the bat, I'm loud. Like, I'm not yelling at you. I'm talking to you so you can hear me when you're on the court and everything.
Right.
And they responded well to, like,
You can be loud and
Yeah.
aggressive or masculine without being an asshole.
I was never a dick.
Right.
You know, like, and these kids, I mean, I had basketball teams that weren't good that turned out to be great teams because these girls, like, they would jump in front of a bullet for me. Like, that's how.
It's your approach to things, though. I mean, it's
And
just the way
same
you
thing
do
with
it.
my football teams. Like, I had offensive lines that were garbage, but all of a sudden they were good because they listened to the little things and, like,
Well,
their
and again,
technique, you know, like, and it was middle school. I
again,
understand
we
that,
were
but
all of us actually were blessed to have good coaches in our lives.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
for
good
sure.
dads too.
Yeah.
Right? Like we had fathers around, you know, for as long as we did.
Because your dads are still gonna coach you outside of
Right. And then
being
we
coached.
all had good coaches.
until you
and-
mouth off to your mom once, and
Well, yeah.
Well, then you're screwed.
Only once.
Yeah, one time.
But no, I think that there's a lesson in that about being a father is that, like, think about those experiences that you had with Mark and then with all of your coaches, right? Like, the reason you were able to coach and be successful at it and build some teams was because you had an example that was set before you by the coaches that coached you.
through life, just life lessons in general.
And that's what it is, especially at that level. Like, look, here's the reality. Coach Heller or Triv or anyone was not going to teach me a damn thing about being, you know, having the best technique as a linebacker because I just wasn't going to get it. Right?
yeah,
But they could teach me how to be a good person and listen
Life lessons.
and
It's life lessons. Yeah.
do the right things so that way in the moment I could be a leader and make decisions.
Yes.
Right. And that's what it's more about. And I think that's true with parenting. Like, you're not going to be able to teach your daughter how to whatever, like, fill in the blank of any situation that she's going to get in. I'm talking a little bit later in life, but what you can do is teach her how to be a good person, right? And make good choices
and navigate life.
Be honest.
Yeah.
And, although those are the things that we can teach, and those are the things that really matter. Because then there's specialists in life, whether it's a coach or it's a teacher or it's a boss or some kind of a mentor, whatever. Those people can do the specifics later in life. Your job is to turn that person, that little girl, into a good person, right?
Because you're not gonna sit there and teach your kid. You're not a teacher. I mean, you can at home, but they're gonna learn everything at school. What your job is to make them someone who's coachable, someone who's teachable. You got to guide them to be able to learn.
Well,
that's the
when
most
you
important
coach
thing.
baseball, I know you had kids on your team who weren't coachable at all.
Yeah.
Who thought, well, I don't have to listen to you. It was kind of like the kids in Little League who weren't good, but their dad just was the coach of the team, and like they got everything.
Yeah, like the entitlement.
Yeah. So when they got to high school, they weren't coachable. They could have been great baseball players.
Yeah, absolutely. I some of the best kids I had issues outside of sports in school. Like, they were just in trouble.
Yeah, they get to their safe place.
Yeah, like they just
they grab a hold of something.
Exactly, and it's like, man, I'm like, you have the potential to be the best here.
Oh, I can name a kid right now.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and the kid was amazing. He was the best baseball player I've ever seen.
Yeah, and football player.
Yeah, exactly. And he was a good kid. Like, like when I was coaching him, he listened to me. I had a different approach about how I coached.
You and I had kind of talk to him real.
Exactly, and he was good. But like outside of that, like when he got with a certain group, and like he just couldn't stay out of trouble and things like that. And it's so sad to see that. A good example is that guy in the Cavs that we're trading right now, Porter Jr. So that kid is amazing.
So talented.
So talented. Gordon on the Browns.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon is a freak of nature. Could have been one of the best receivers in the league. He just could not stay out of trouble.
Yeah,
like, it's so painful to watch these guys because they could be the best ever, and it's tough, man. It's sad to see. But there's a lot of kids like that. I mean,
because the reality is just talent doesn't always win out.
No, it doesn't.
That's why I'm such a
It can get you so far. It can get you somewhere, but
yeah, absolutely, it can get you to the table.
Yeah,
but so can so many other qualities. Like, that's why I'm such a big leadership guy, is because you cannot be the best at anything, but if you can be a leader in something, I mean, literally,
take Tom Brady.
Well, when he's really talented, though.
Well, he is now. No, but
right, you're right.
He was at Michigan. He was drafted like what, in the
7th round,
6th round, 7th round, maybe.
Yeah.
And nobody thought he was going to be.
You ever see pictures of that dude at the combine, though?
He ran a 5'9" 40.
I wouldn't have drafted that dude either.
No, he literally looked like Woody Harrelson from White Men Can't Jump. Like,
well, but here's the thing, though. I think that the NFL and athletics in general has evolved. I mean, when did he get drafted? He's been in the league, what, 17, 18 years?
2002 or something
like that.
Maybe
I don't know how many tests and how many interviews they were doing back then. And they were doing some, of course, but I wonder if he would have been drafted higher now with how much more in depth they look at players. And they should
possibly,
yeah.
Because there's so much more than a 40 time and arm strength and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
It's
you have these people that are
how you're a student of the
that
game
dude's
now,
such
too.
A freak.
He's unbelievable.
Oh, he is far from being the most athletic person out there.
No.
But it's how his mind works and like how he can pick apart a defense. And
I know he's got fuck you money, but like, is that dude getting younger?
Seriously.
Like, he's got more hair now than ever.
It's
He's
ridiculous.
in amazing shape. Like, how old's that guy? 43?
We're pretty close to that
I'm dying
age.
to look like that when I was 23.
We all were. God.
Tom Brady gets a lot of hate, and like, people love to hate winners.
But I mean, you got to respect the guy. Look what he's done.
I love watching Tom Brady play.
I mean, he goes to Tampa Bay, and you're like, oh, he's not gonna. I mean, Who knows what he's going to do?
They have a ton of
They started
talent.
slow, but then they do have a ton of talent.
They have
Drew
a ton of
Brees,
talent.
the same thing. Like undersized under this, and
Yeah, but Drew Brees, at least you feel like is human.
yeah,
Because
he
did decline, right?
Yeah.
Like
He did,
I
for sure.
a
You saw it
funny
happening.
meme. It was like when he retired the day, whatever. He's like, he retired only 3 months after his arm retired. And I feel bad for the guy. I mean, Drew Brees is amazing.
hell of a
Oh, yeah.
quarterback.
Love
One of the
that
greats.
story. He's
One of the
always
greats.
been a good dude. But like Tom Brady, like he's getting better.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's not
It's
right.
like LeBron,
even-
man. Like
He's
the
like
guy,
LeBron. Like, because even Jordan, you can say, did not get better with age, right? Like, he was good for a long, long time and stayed in his prime.
yeah,
But really, it was 6 seasons that he was prime time.
yeah.
Somebody like LeBron has been in his prime for fucking.
It's
10
like he just
years
keeps
now.
getting better, man. The guy's unbelievable.
Look at it's a lot of it's got to do with like science and stuff now
It
too.
does,
like
for
these
sure.
guys have like personal scientists basically with them. This is what your body needs to
Jordan
accept.
was golfing and smoking stogies.
Yeah, and-
LeBron ain't doing that.
No.
No, like
What does he spend a month?
What for his like personal chef?
Yeah, for like his like wellness.
it's
I think
crazy.
it's like $1 million a month or something like
his
that.
body,
that he spends.
these guys like their body is an investment.
It
Well, yeah.
absolutely is.
Absolutely, that's the most important
the
thing,
treatment that they get like after a game, you can't tell me they're just going home. No, they're going right into
dude.
that.
Can you imagine
training
being a
room.
basketball player, like going into like in your late 30s?
My
I scored
God,
a couple points in junior high.
on the wrong basket.
No,
That
Did I?
wasn't you.
No,
Who was that?
it might have been me.
I scored a few points at Forest when it was me, you, and Marco playing,
That was fun times.
and then it hurt my
Of course
knees.
it did.
Oh my
Still
God!
hurts.
Like, I walking down the driveway like on a steady trot to get the garbage cans. I'm like, oh my God!
You
my
should have
knees.
seen us at Raju's house in the fall
It was
doing
the
alley
first
oops.
Browns game.
We
We halftime. It was
We're-
really nice out.
were trying to play horse,
Horse.
and then like after that we were trying to dunk. We lowered the hoop obviously, and we're trying to do like alley oops and all that. Those guys, what they have to do to do an alley oop, like I caught the ball, I dunked it, and my back hurt so bad when I came down. I'm like, oh, I'm good. Just go down in the basement.
Well,
I'm sweating my ass off. In so much pain.
When we lived together, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
Ugh.
Like, and we would play horse out in the driveway. Me, you, Arco, whoever else is over. And like at the end of that, like at 26 years old, I was like, ugh.
Oh yeah.
we were, yeah.
Sub.
We're trying to play one.
playing
We're trying to play
horse, dude.
one bounce, and
Oh
our
God.
knees hurt.
33, and I'm like, guys, I gotta go.
Yeah,
Gotta
it's
ice
impressive
up.
what these guys do. But like back to coaching and like how that relates to being a father, I think that you're in a good spot because you did.
Yeah, you do
for
coach.
forever.
Yeah, so you.
I think that's huge. I mean, you have that experience. I never coached, but what I do for a living is basically coach young people to be professionals, right? And like that's how I look at it, at least. Childcare is not my like thing. Like I know what I'm doing a little bit, but in reality, what I'm trying to do is take young people and say, okay, what do you think your potential is? How do you reach it? How do you surpass it? And I think that's just a lot of what being a father is. So like I always like try to give the advice, don't get hung up on milestones or small things. And those are important, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, if you can look at yourself in the mirror and you can look at your kid, even more importantly, and say, did I do something to make you a better person? Like you're doing okay.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's-
Because you could, and the thing with like anything in life is everything's so in your face, right? I mean, like
Right.
social media, the internet, like everything you see all these kids doing all these crazy things. Like you see these 2-year-old kids with the perfect swing in baseball, or they have this amazing
Throw
arm
'em
in
in the
football.
pool.
It's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
Like,
those
why
are
the hell is
cool.
my kid not doing this shit?
Right.
Like, and you're sitting there trying to teach them these things, and they're not getting it. And you're like, why? What the hell? And then you realize, oh, they're 3 years old.
Yeah.
What was I doing
you
at 3
can
years
get
old?
down on yourself.
You
'Cause
do,
you're
and
like,
then you
what
start-
am I doing? Am I failing?
And I mean,
because
I've
my
been
kid
there, and
can't
I'm
do
like,
that?
you're like, I'm disappointed. My son's not doing what I want him to do. And then like you do something like today, my son. So Sam will randomly like on days off, Liz is working. Goes, I want to do learning today. That's what he call it. Like we'll do like flashcards. We'll do sight words and numbers and all that kind of crap. Sorry, and he blows my mind with that stuff. Like the stuff he says and he figures it out. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, you're really smart. Okay, I'm like you kind of catch yourself like, why can't you figure this out? Like, you were getting mad about shit. And then you
Right.
realize that they got it. You're like, okay, well, I'm an asshole for getting mad about stupid little things.
You're sitting there still trying to figure it out.
Oh,
And
God.
it's so natural, and you're going to get mad. Don't get me
You
wrong.
do. You do.
Us telling
it's
you this
frustrating.
on a Saturday night, you know,
Because we still
4
do
months,
this.
5 months before the kids here, like, is not going to have any impact on you getting mad. But if you just come back to it, and the first time, because this will happen, and she'll be a little bit older, like she'll be able to comprehend what you're saying at this point, because this always happens, is you'll say something and they'll completely ignore you, and you'll get so mad about it, and then you'll put her to bed, and then she'll be asleep, and then you'll sit down and you'll be like, why the fuck did I just yell?
Yeah. Why did I get so mad
There
about
is
something
no
so
reason.
stupid?
The first time that happens, think about it and like text us and then be like, all right. And all you can do then is the next time that situation comes up is
Just do a better job. Yeah.
here's what we're going to do.
Well, like,
Because go ahead.
my fear, like, my dad being a police officer, your dad, like,
Mm-hmm.
we got yelled at.
Sure.
Like, I mean,
There's a place for that.
I'm sure, but
100%.
like, I know I got yelled at for things that I probably should have never got yelled at for.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But and you're going to do that as a dad. And like Ian said, like,
that's
if you,
my biggest fear. Like, I don't want to just blow up on my child.
and it's going to happen.
You will.
You're
will.
gonna do it. Al's gonna do it. It's
I'm
gonna
here to
happen.
tell you it's okay. If you learn, like,
If you don't learn from it, like he said, if you don't recognize it and you don't try to make adjustments, halftime adjustments, right?
Right.
Try to find out what wasn't working, and you realize what you've done wrong. Try to correct it. Now, if you continue down that path of just constantly doing the wrong thing, well, then you don't want to fix it. Well, that's going to be a problem.
And
But
that's also-
but it's so hard to say that and then actually act upon it, because I still catch myself doing things like that. Like we talked about last week, where it was like the kids were out at the park and they wanted to have fun and they start getting crazy, and you're like, oh, your blood starts boiling,
Right.
and you get pissed off. And then when you're on the walk back, you're like,
Yeah.
why didn't I just let it go?
Yep.
Who gives a shit? Like it's you catch yourself after the fact, and it's so much easier said than done to just be like, okay, I'll just correct that next time, because at the same time you're still probably gonna go back to it again.
Right. You will, but here's
But you
the
still
thing,
try to correct
too,
it and try to take a deep breath.
And one of the reasons that we do this is because if you have a support system around you, and that's like a non-manly term for it, but it's what
life.
it is, and accept it and just be good with it, because we all need support. If you have that system around you and you can talk shit out and you can, whatever, pour some bourbon and talk about it, it helps so much to just say, all right, here's what I did. Here's how I'm going to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, kind of coaching yourself through situations, because they're going to come up and you're going to blow up. And then you say, okay, what could I have done differently? And then next time it happens, maybe you take it down just a notch, and that's okay. The next time, another notch. And then eventually you're communicating with your kid in a way that they understand, right? Because they're kids and they don't necessarily listen to what you say 100% of the time, because they're kids,
Yeah.
right? Like, once we realize that, I mean, think about how you communicate with your wife or with coworkers or with us. Like we don't always, I mean, we'll be sitting here playing video games and we're like, dude, we're doing this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Come on.
Fucking sector's
What
raw.
are you doing?
Yeah. Pay
My
attention.
sector's raw right now.
I
What are you
literally
doing?
just told you a second ago what to do.
Yeah.
It's communication, right? Like, you'll learn how to communicate with your kids and communicate with your wife, and it's a learning process, and it's not going to be perfect right away. But once you get there, and look, it's
Still
like,
not.
We're not perfect,
No.
like,
But
by any means.
and also you have your wife as a support, right? And vice versa. Like you correct each other. Like I'll see Liz is doing something, I'm like, hey, you should take it down, or like vice versa. Like I'm about to get pissed off. She sees that I'm about to
Right.
blow up. She's like, easy. It's like, okay, you're right. Think about this. Take a deep breath.
Right.
Deal with it. And like you said earlier, when you tell your kids something and they're obviously not paying attention, and you think they're not taking in anything that you're saying, they're taking in everything, because
Oh yeah.
because you'll hear them repeat that
Yep.
a day later, a week later, whatever, exactly what you told them. They'll repeat it, and you're like, okay, he was listening.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You know, it's pretty crazy.
they're-
The kids are pretty amazing, and they're a pain in the ass, and they make you crazy. but damn it, they're awesome.
It's a ton of fun too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You're gonna be a good dad. I'm excited to see you, bring that girl up and.
I've seen you with kids, man. You'll be all right.
Be wrapped.
Oh yeah, she'll have you wrapped around her finger.
Here's the dirty secret about that too. It's like, and trust me, I am completely wrapped around both of my kids' fingers.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that you're a pushover 100% of the time.
No.
What it means is like you treat your kids with respect, and you promise things, and you follow through with those promises, and you spoil them, and they should get spoiled, right? Like, we all inherently want to do better than our parents did for us. And that's not to say that our parents did a shitty job. What that means is, like, why wouldn't you want to do more, right?
Oh,
Because you do. That's the most important thing to you, It's,
right.
That's
Like
that's all you
100%.
want to
Like,
do is
you
make
don't
the
go
best
into,
possible
like,
life
being
for
a
them.
dad, like, make the decision to have a kid and be like, yeah, I'm going to make life as tough as possible on them.
And that's impossible to do.
Right,
It's
right.
so hard, man.
But then you come to that crossroads where you're like, and that's not a crossroads, but it's like a conundrum. Like, okay, now is my kid's life too easy? They're going to be an asshole because they get whatever they want. Like, I know I deal with that all the time. It's like, how spoiled are my kids? Like, they're like, well, I don't like that, or I don't want to do that. And,
Dude, here's the bottom line.
conflict.
It's sometimes it's like, okay, I really want this thing, and you're gonna fight it. You're gonna fight it, and you're like, fine, just here you go. Just bought you this toy, or like you got this meal that you wanted. You got this piece of candy that you wanted to.
Right.
It's not gonna ruin everything.
Right.
They're not gonna just turn into an asshole from something like that. I mean, obviously you got to set boundaries and you got to stick with things. You can't aim too high.
Right.
Which is a problem that we all do. You're like, fine, if you don't eat that, then we're not gonna. I'm taking this away from you.
Oh yeah. If I could, yeah.
Or you're like,
that's
or
a really good point.
Or if you're like, if you don't do this, then we're not going to so and so's birthday party, and then you still go to the birthday party,
Right.
and they still didn't do it, then you're not. The lesson's not learned.
Don't ever make a promise that you can't keep.
Yeah,
So-
you don't aim too high.
And don't make a promise that or a threat that doesn't affect you. So, like, I know Chelsea and I have done that before, where it's like, I knew I was coming to do a podcast or something like that. Like, listen, if you don't do this right now, or if you don't eat your dinner, you're going straight to bed. Okay, that's not realistic because I'm peacing out.
Yeah, and Chelsea's not going to put him straight to bed.
Right. Like, don't put your wife in that situation. And by the same token, don't
put
let
yourself
her
in that position.
Put you in that situation.
Yeah.
Because, we had to learn that the hard way.
It's tough though. It's so easy to say like to make threats like that
Right.
because then they're like,
you're just thinking of
and then-
something.
and the
that's
kids are
going
smarter
to
than you
hurt,
think too, and
know?
like they'll be like, okay, yeah, sure,
They get
and
it real
they
quick.
figure it out fast, even at like 3 years old.
Oh yeah. Which
But-
seems like forever.
But it's gonna be here in 2
But
seconds.
It's so quick. It's so quick.
Like I'm looking at Sam the other day. He's 5. He's a big kid now. Like he's not like a little baby. You know, it's weird.
He's almost like self-sufficient.
It's
in a
it's
sense.
very
took,
strange, man.
I took Gibbs to basketball last night, and he wanted to bring his basketball shoes because he didn't want to get them dirty, which is weird for him because he doesn't give a shit about anything, like being dirty or whatever. But it was funny. Like we get into the court, and he's putting his shoes on, and he takes his hoodie off, and he gets out there, and he's just like, I mean, you guys know Gibbs. He's a very outgoing kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first
comical.
very first practice or whatever. And it's an instructional league. It's more about learning the basics. It's not like a team. I mean, there's teams, but whatever. But like he just gets out there and starts shooting with this complete stranger kid that he doesn't know. And this kid's good. And he's just playing with him and everything. And he's like, all right, Dad, I'm going to go out there now. I'm like, all right, go ahead. And he gets out there and just, I don't know, something about watching him just immediately go in there and asking questions and talking to other kids and working on his dribbling and keeping his head up, and like he's learning these things, and I'm looking at him like he's not a kid anymore. And he's 5.5. He's still a kid, of course, but
He's maturing.
It was cool to see him, like even from last season when we played basketball, he was just out there having fun, and not that he wasn't having fun last night, but he was kind of taking it serious, which was cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's pretty cool to watch them do their thing. It's pretty awesome. it's insane how fast it happens. All like Ian said.
Yeah.
Like it sounds far away, but it's not. It happens in 2 seconds. Like we know.
I'm really excited to coach whatever she wants to play,
Yeah.
whether it's softball, basketball.
I mean, you were a coach, so you get like I coached Gibbs's first t-ball team, and I said I'd never do it again.
Here's the thing. You coached junior high and high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I told him several times. I don't think I could do the little league thing. I just don't think I could do it.
I don't know if I'd want to be the head coach. I would want to be like the dad that helps.
That's what I was.
The dad that helps.
Yeah.
I didn't go in like baseball or t-ball planning on doing that, but they would ask me to do it. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But t-ball, I'm like sitting there like, okay, guys, good job. All right, what happens when the balls hit? You're going to go over there, okay? Or like show them to come to third base. Like, it's that's simple, but it's like you go from teaching kids who know what they're doing. You're coaching kids in high school.
Competitive, yeah.
And they know what they're doing. But to going to kids that like you have to teach them how to play the sport, you teach them the fundamentals,
Well,
and it's like, and the patience in that is like it's absurd.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
And-
care what the sport is, if it's basketball, baseball, football, whatever. At 4 or 5 years old, you're not teaching the sport. You're teaching how to be a team, and that's really frustrating.
You know who's
When
amazing?
it's your kid.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, when it's your kid, dude, I don't want. You don't want to. You also don't want to be that dad on the sidelines, but you just want to scream at them so bad to just pay attention or do something. You're like, I'm sitting back there. I'm like under my breath. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? You're so angry the whole
God,
time.
I can remember hearing my dad in the stands.
Oh yeah.
My dad was very quiet about it, but then he would like pull me off to the side. It was like
dad,
he had this look. He had this look where I knew if I messed up, like he would just come over. He was very quiet about it. He's like, come here. I could just see him like, oh god, damn it. Heads, tail between my legs, just stroll over to my dad. Like, I
can remember getting home, like, and my dad played basketball. I never played football. So like I'd come home from a basketball game, and I knew as soon as I walked in the door, it was like, why aren't you moving your feet? Why aren't you doing this? I fucking taught you how to do that baby hook shot. Why aren't you doing that baby hook shot? Make your fucking free throws. They're a free shot. Like, and it was shit like that. And I'd be like, fucking.
You'll start that when they're 4 too.
Literally.
You're like, why didn't you just do this? Why didn't you just do that? Like, it's so frustrating, and everybody does it, man. It's so frustrating. I'll tell you who's a saint though, man. Is these coaches that coach these little league teams. That basketball coach.
Oh my God, she's amazing.
She's unbelievable. How patient she is and how awesome she is. She's a phenomenal coach. Like
I told Chelsea I was going to try and hire her, and she's like, "Don't you dare embarrass us and try and offer her a job."
excuse
But
me,
seriously
coach.
though, I think honestly, like, women should be coaching those little leagues because they are so much more patient than men.
It's amazing how good this chick gets, like, these kids and like teaches them in a way that they understand. You know, like teaching them how to shoot, and it's like, I can't remember how it goes, but it's like
The pizza.
you know, holding a pizza, and then you're jumping up like a firework, and all this other kind of stuff.
Just watching
And
the
it's
kids
like,
all react to her too is pretty
and
amazing.
they're getting it.
The thing like that stop and they they put the ball to their side, like they
Yep.
all do it too. And I'm like, she taught them that fast.
Right.
And you think your kid's not paying attention or not taking any of that in. You see him do it, you're like, oh, okay, well, I was
Yeah.
about to yell at him, but okay, he figured
Right,
it out. It's like
right.
it's weird.
It's pretty cool.
But then you get to a situation like I had today with Ben. Liz is at work.
I love
Ben's stories are just unbelievable.
Ben's
fantastic.
amazing.
So he's got
It's one
this
of my
thing where
favorites.
like
I can't wait till he's 15.
I can for multiple reasons,
I
but
can't wait till he's like 21, 22.
oh, God.
Tell him some stories.
Oh yeah, but he so when he goes to the bathroom, he has to do everything by himself. Like he doesn't require any assistance on anything. So he goes to the bathroom, he slams the door shut, and he locks it every time. So I'm hanging out with Sam in the family room, and we're just chilling, and 10 minutes goes by, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's silence. I'm like, what the hell's he doing? So I hear the door open slowly, and I walk in there, and he's just standing there in this puddle of water. I think like maybe he just like was messing around in the sink. He clogged the toilet. I don't know how much toilet paper he put in there, but the toilet was overflowing. There's water everywhere. And I'm about to lose my fucking mind. I'm like, I'm so pissed off. Like I'm about to just wring his neck. And then he just goes, oh, he starts crying. And then he goes in his room, slams the door, locks it. And I'm like, great, now I have to clean this shit up. And I mean, just the kind of stuff that the kid does.
Sam, get in here and clean this up.
Sam's like, what did he do? He's like, oh, Ben, you're in trouble. Because, I mean, the other day, too, I threatened the threats, right? Mm-hmm. I told him, I go, if you don't eat your food, you're not coming with Sam and I to go get hot chocolate at Fiona's. And he, Ben.
Right.
So, okay, cool. Might as well be flicking me off. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, okay, we're going to leave without you. He's like, okay. I'm like, we are going to go. So I'm like, Sam, get your shoes and your coat on. I'm like, I'm leaving. And Ben's just sitting in the family room looking at me. I'm like, just eat that piece of chicken. I'm working on it for like a half hour. Just eat that piece of chicken. He's like, no, he's just, eh. So I go, fine. I'm like, we're leaving. So I walk out. I shut the door. I turn off all the lights in the house except for the family room. And I go, we're leaving. So I shut the door. Sam's in the car. And I just leave him in the house for a few minutes. I peek in the front window. He's looking around. He just goes over to the toy thing, the box.
He's fine.
Starts pulling toys out. Didn't give a shit that we left. Yeah. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm like, can't even threaten this kid. So I go on the side. I'm like, can you just please eat the chicken? He grabs it and eats it. And he's like, let's go. I'm like, dude, this kid, I can't.
He just wanted to put his dominance out there.
And he did.
He just said, fuck you.
He did, and he does it all the time. And I can't beat him.
Yeah.
Good
3 years
luck.
old, man. I know. I say it all the time. They told us. They warned me.
Mm-hmm.
That's
He's
Benny
fun.
for you, man. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna have some fun stories like that one day, and it's gonna be you want to pull your hair out, but at the same time, man, it's all fun. I'll say all this shit about Ben all the time, and he's the sweetest little kid, man.
He's the best.
He's a great kid.
Oh, the kid's hilarious.
I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you say?
Absolutely. He's earned it.
Yeah, for sure. Man, you're gonna. I can't wait to see you go through it. It's pretty cool to see. We're all very excited for you.
Oh, I'm thrilled, scared, everything above.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to like 9. I mean, your kids are going to be obviously older than mine, but like, like my little baby girl, I'm going to bring her over to your house one day, and Sloane's going to be that older cousin, like,
Right.
and like Sloane's going to have a little baby to play with.
Yeah,
Right.
man. That's like Mila with
Yeah.
all my kids, and
Oh, yeah.
and her cousins. Like she's 5 years older than all of them, and she's 6, whatever she is.
She's the ringleader.
And she is. I mean, you want to talk about a kid that's going to
Dude,
put
kid's.
We take all of the kids over to my mom's house, and Mila just grabs all of them and she takes them into a room, and she plays teacher. And you go in there and watch what they're doing. She has them all sitting in chairs, like full tension, and she's like teaching
they
them.
sit like straight up.
And they listen to everything she's saying. It's the craziest thing, man.
It's awesome.
It's I don't have to watch the
Like,
kids,
it's not
and she
even
takes
just
control.
like her cousins either. Like, we'll be over there hanging out, and Mike will come over with the kids, and Gibbs and Sloan are like paying attention to Mila. I'm like, what? How did you do that?
I know, I'm like, I can't even do that.
I mean, you could see that in Mila even though when she was little.
Yeah.
She's always been that one to be like, well, no, this is,
Yeah, she's
follow me. This is what I want you to do. But she was never mean about it.
She's the sweetest little
sweetheart.
kid, man. Yeah, it's funny actually. We have a slideshow at my house, like on the the Amazon, how it pulls up like your slideshows,
Yeah,
and there's a picture of you holding Mila when she's a baby,
Oh, jeez.
like this tiny little thing. You're holding her. I mean, this little thing. I'm like, it's such a
Her
cool.
in one arm and
Yeah.
Jimmy in the other.
Yeah, Jimmy. He's still alive. He's still alive. By the way. He's like 15 years old.
It's amazing.
That dog was great.
He's just this little old skinny little freaking
He would just come
shit,
and
man.
sleep on me in the couch in Mike's garage.
Ah, the good old days,
times.
man.
Good
Good times for sure.
During Halloween parties, it'd be so loud in there, and I'd be on the couch, and he would just jump up there with
I
me.
love that they have the couch out there in the garage too. I have a
the
picture of you
best.
passed out on it
Oh,
when you were the zombie.
Mm-hmm. That was a great costume.
It was
A
phenomenal.
great pair of boots,
Zombie
though.
hunter. I did. It was worth it.
But it was so good though, man. The broken ankle.
Yep.
That was
Broken
such
ankle, arrows.
Yep.
those are the days, man. We used to go all out.
When we had arrows to spare.
Right.
We had time to do anything.
Yeah.
Went to parties.
Yeah. Stayed up late. Oh, I still stay up late.
Well, I remember the one Halloween party where you and I went to go get Giorgio's pizza, and you were dressed up. I think you were.
was that the emo one?
Yeah, you were the emo one, and I was dressed up like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And we walked in. I had my Michael Myers mask on, and you were all emo. And we just walked in, like, damn near holding hands, and people were like, "What the hell is wrong?"
I look like
with
the
these
lead
guys?
singer of like Good Charlotte. I'm just oh man, that was so
That was
much
awesome.
fun, man.
Those were a lot of fun. Those
Yeah,
parties
those were
were a
good
good time.
times.
remember the Philadelphia.
Flip. Oh, we were pissing everybody off because we just kept winning.
Dominating.
And we were just singing that. Everybody's like, oh,
Is that
somebody's gonna
4
flip the
Loco
table.
Pong?
Oh God, that
night?
might have been a different night. That was bad news. We talked about 4 Loco a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did actually. There's no reason
Devil's
anyone ever
juice.
drank that.
Yeah,
I mean, we did.
we
but-
did, and it was fun. But
Well, like the time we were driving home from that bar in the ghetto where Rosa was
That's
wrestling.
what I was talking
yeah.
about. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And you guys are hammered.
I was hammered before
Nah.
we got there.
And you're like, P, you got to drive. And I'm like, okay. And you and Arco were the only ones with your concealed carry at the time. And so we're in the ghetto. They brought a gun, and all of a sudden I'm like, all right, I'm driving home. So that's going here. I'm sober. Nobody's drinking in the car.
Right.
And then I hear Newbert crack open a 4 Loco as we're driving through the ghetto. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Newbern the 4 Loco. I remember his
Oh,
costume
yeah.
at my brother's
That was
party was
his
a
thing.
4 Loco
Yeah.
costume. He had like the camo on and everything. Oh, it was hilarious.
Young and dumb, man.
Oh my God, I was so afraid we were going to get pulled over.
That would have been bad.
You remember going to
That would've been
Pittsburgh with this
real
guy
bad.
when I had to pee?
We took my truck, right?
Your
Yeah.
truck, he's in the back and he had to pee
And we were just on the freeway.
on
so
the
I'm like,
freeway, and I see him peeing, and I just tapped the brakes.
no, it wasn't even that.
No.
It was we were going and they're like, okay, I'm gonna go because we can't stop. So I start peeing that bottle, and it was smooth
no
sailing the
traffic,
entire time. And all of a
anything.
sudden it was just boom, stop, and I'm like, oh, like
Tip right into the Dasani
oh my
bottle.
God.
It was a Mountain Dew bottle.
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, you know
Shocker.
that science experiment. Yeah, you know that science experiment where you put like you throw a match in the bottle and then you throw a hard-boiled egg,
and
it just sucks it in.
down.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about. Like it's gonna suck it in there, and I'm gonna just be stuck. We have to get it surgically removed.
That would have been such a good story.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it would have been an awesome story.
Remember Rosa parallel parking
You just crushed that car.
downtown Pittsburgh, and he's
Like,
like,
it's probably
boom,
fine.
boom, good.
Jumps out. I'm like, okay,
Is that what we're doing?
is that what they do here in Pittsburgh? I don't know
And
what
then
you guys do.
we go to Sheets, and they had that newspaper that was dated for the next day,
Oh yeah.
but it was nowhere near the next day. Like we're like,
That was
wait a
weird. I
minute.
took a picture of that. I have a
Yeah.
picture somewhere. That was really weird.
And we were like, did we just travel through time?
We probably did.
Who's got the flux capacitor?
Literally, I feel like we did. I mean, what kind of shape we were in that
very,
night.
Very well might
No,
have.
not only that. Remember we went to that first bar, we were hanging out, and then we left to go to that like strip where there's all those bars, like where he parallel parked.
Yeah, it's south side.
All of a sudden we're driving, and he's going down a one-way road
Oh yeah.
the wrong
The
way.
wrong
He
way.
didn't give a shit.
At 90 miles an hour.
I'm like, hey, probably should turn around. We're going the wrong way. I'm like, that sign says one way. He's like, it's fine. What you guys do here in Pittsburgh, we're back in Ohio. We
That's
drive
not
the right
good.
direction. What you guys do there in Buckley Town, but
did you get him through this state a little faster than 7 miles an hour? Limit.
I have to ask one more question before because I want to go back to the Browns really quick. Were you pissed when we punted?
Yes.
Yes.
It's
You
a
know why I
it's a
was
tough
pissed, though?
call because our defense wasn't going to make a stop. That's why I was really pissed.
I was pissed because again, I felt like Stefanski was trying to get cute. Like all year, that dude went for it on fourth down.
Not only that, we were converting. How many fourth downs we converted on that? I mean,
We
mostly it was like
were
fourth and
2 out of
two or something.
3, I think, in that game before that happened.
Yeah, but like,
And it was a
think
longer.
about
It
It
was
was
fourth and
8.
nine.
Fourth and 8.
4th and 8. Okay.
But still, though, like,
You're on the 35, 40 yard line.
Yeah,
What are you going to do? Your defense hasn't made a stop all game.
yeah, go for it. I mean, it's
They haven't made a stop.
a playoff game.
Right.
Go for it.
Can't hold
and-
anything back.
No.
Because they didn't hold anything back.
We
Well,
know.
We
know.
But also, if you look at it, though, McCarthy's what? The coach of the... It's McCarthy?
Nope. It's
No.
Andy Reid.
Andy
Andy
Reid.
Reid, my bad. Andy
McCarthy's
Reid.
in Dallas.
McCarthy's in there.
That worked out. Remember, we wanted him.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So you look at their 4th and 14 that they were in, and
It's 3rd and 14.
3rd and 14, whatever, and Slowpoke runs for the
Yeah.
fucking first down. But like Reed knew that if they punted that away,
Yeah.
like Baker could have pulled some magic, and like
That's all I wanted, though.
Baker has that ability. I mean, you saw it earlier in the season,
So-
and he knew, like Reed knew, I get this, it's over. If not, I gotta trust my defense to come and stop
Which, look, you
Baker.
want to have trust in your defense, but when they haven't proven it all game, and you have, like, the strength of our team was our offense,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't think that's a secret. Like, you could ask Myles Garrett, like, strength of the team is the offense.
Well, when all you have is Myles Garrett and
Who's hurt, by the way.
Yeah, right. There's 3.5 minutes left.
and Ward,
Like, number one, take the shot, but number two, set up your play calls so that you're not in a 3rd and 8. Like, just understand that it's 4-down territory from this point.
from wherever you're at.
I don't know. It's very easy as a fan to say that. I think
That's a tough
by
call.
The book, the right move was to punt the ball. We still had 2 timeouts.
We had one at that point.
No, we had one because that
Yeah,
challenge.
Yeah.
That challenge was bad.
Why'd you throw the flag on that? Like,
You saw that in real time.
Even so, by the book, it was probably the right call. But in the moment, I was really pissed off about it.
oh yeah, for
Because
sure.
it just wasn't on par for what we've been doing. Like, we're an aggressive team. Like, just give it a shot.
The only thing
Play
that
with house money.
The only thing that was
Yeah.
the most frustrating thing about that whole thing is all I wanted to see was the ball in our
Another
hands.
shot.
I just wanted to see it's in our hands at that point. It's up to
Right.
Baker to do what he has to do, but we never got that opportunity, and that's what kills me the most.
That interception in the end zone, and you come out
Oh,
and like,
shit, there's life.
yeah, I was like, oh shit, here we go. We're
What the hell was that pass, by the way?
Oh god, that was
Scotto. Honestly, though, that's probably the reason they punted the ball away.
Because you can't. he's
it's
going to do something like that
freaking-
again.
yeah.
He didn't think he was going to do what he did. I mean,
And like, kudos. What's that guy's name?
Henny.
yeah, Chad Henne.
Kudos to him, man. That's some balls to make that run and then do that 4th and inches play and execute.
But who
right?
called that
Like,
defense, though, man? I mean, just
Yeah, why you're come
Well,
on.
they didn't think they were going to snap the ball.
yeah.
But you should have been prepared for it.
Yeah, but
Like,
still, and then
He had room
that
to run for
interception
days.
in that end zone. We come out, and what plays are we running? Like, come on!
Yeah.
It hurt.
It was so, and Allie was
Even
sitting there
so-
watching me, and I'm motherfucking the TV, and
Well, I felt like an idiot because I'm in my family room, not composing myself at all. I stand up, I whip the controller at the couch, and I'm like, fucking Henny, are you kidding me? I throw the controller. I look over, I look at Chelsea and Liz and Ian. They're all just sitting there. I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot. I'm a psycho. The kids were in the basement.
Yeah.
To my defense, like I was not
You're fine.
flipping out in front of all the
I've
kids,
seen
but
you
I was.
worse.
Yeah, we all have. I've seen Ian with
NBA
the
finals.
Were you at Ian's house when we threw the bottle at the TV?
That was against Orlando, right?
Yeah.
That was,
It was right before-
Eastern
it was right before
Conference
LeBron hit the three.
Championship. Yeah.
And he stands up and throws throws the bottle of water, like a half full bottle of water, at the TV, and it hits
Hits the
inches
the top.
above the TV.
before the screen or above the screen, right?
Yeah, well, like, listen, this was a while ago. It's not like they had like the screens now that are like
this is the
frameless,
old
basically.
Sony.
Yeah,
The TV would have been fine, probably.
Oh, that TV was a beast.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean, it missed the TV by.
Like I know he wanted to hit the TV and he
I
missed
did.
it. And I think he was like, as soon as it missed, you were just the most relieved.
So happy.
And then LeBron hits that 3 afterwards. Can you imagine if the TV was broke?
Throwing
Can you
water
imagine if you
bottles
shattered the
everywhere.
TV?
Oh my god!
and we didn't get to
I'd
see
been
that
so
play?
mad.
Well, we wouldn't have been able to play duty either.
Well, there's a lot of
too.
things that could have happened. Yeah.
That too.
Oh, good times. Speaking of Cavs,
Watched
though.
a lot of good games at that house.
Yes, we did.
I was talking about the Morley house the other day.
Sending Chelsea to her room.
We did too.
Because it was always the Cavs would take like a 30-point lead going into half, and then they give up that lead in the third quarter every
That was those
freaking
teams.
game, man. And then like
those teams were first, second, and fourth quarter teams. Third quarter, we were garbage.
just always
my
give
God.
we always blow the lead every
Always.
single time. And we're like, Chelsea, get in the bedroom. You're bad luck. She'd be like, just put her head down and just leave.
Go watch your shows.
Go watch your stories elsewhere.
What's your story?
These are my stories, man.
Hey, let them Cavs beating the Nets in the last 2 games, man.
Dude, I've watched 1 or 2 Cavs games this year, and they are scrappy. Like they're
Sexton's
fun to
motor is the
watch.
most exhausting thing to ever watch. That kid
They
is
are
just.
fun to watch.
I know that's what I keep hearing.
I still haven't watched.
So I can't watch
One
them because I
bit.
don't have that Fox channel on my YouTube TV. Because I steal my mom's cable from her YouTube TV. I just sign into it, so I haven't been able to watch the Cavs games. I just watch highlights.
Maybe I'll
Yes, please do.
send you over my AT&T app.
Sounds good because I would like to watch. I mean, they are fun to watch. They're
Oh,
a young,
yeah.
scrappy team. It's fun. Could be fun to watch. I'll get into it.
Oh, and
Sexland,
Oh, he's
Sexton, and I can't think of his Garland. It's called Sexland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then the big dude that we picked up, Drummond.
Oh, Drummond's he's unbelievable.
We won't have him next year because
No.
he's going to cost too much. But I mean, he eats people up, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I
mean,
would like to start watching. I don't know.
I love it that they just beat Kyrie in the last
I
two games
hate
and
Kyrie.
Harden.
Fuck that.
Durant didn't play last night, but
Oh, he didn't?
no. Kyrie dropped like 37, I think, and
In an L.
an L, back to back to the Cavs. I love it.
It's great.
Kyrie's
Hey, you know what?
douche.
They could, with the way the playoffs are now,
Yeah, because there's like a playing game now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Can make it.
could do it.
500 or above.
We're above 500
now.
right now. I mean, the team's been hurt. Like, a lot of these guys have been hurt the whole time, so we'll see. Yeah, I don't even know. We can talk about sports all day, but I don't know.
Right.
That's what we do. We
What,
go all over the place.
What other, you got anything else for us? Like a burning question, whatever. If you don't, that's okay. I know.
You got a dad hack for him?
Oh, we could do a dad hack.
I don't know if I have one for you right now. I'm trying to think of a newborn. Where are you guys having, where's the baby being born? Were you guys going to West? Okay.
West.
I'll give you this. If you have a room that doesn't have an extra bed in it for you, because I ran into this problem there, they have these chairs, right? And the bottom of it comes out so you can like put your feet up. That turns into a whole, like a little bed. I didn't know that because I put my feet out. The nurses came in there like 10 times and saw me in this miserable position and didn't bother to tell me that thing comes all the way out. So all I had was like the foot thing because you really have to push it to make it come out. So just so you know, that thing folds all the way out. I didn't know that. I slept on this chair with a footrest the first night.
Kind of like Meyer's wedding when there were 8 of us in a hotel room and I was on that little chair with the
Yes, exactly like that.
Dad hack for the hospital room, too, is to bring snacks.
Bring snacks. I try to leave right before.
Yeah, you get looks when you try and leave.
Well, apparently now, because of COVID and everything,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you have to stay in
Because
there.
if you leave, you can't come back in.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if it was normal times, dad hack, just be sick that day because
you had to
my
go
second
home.
night there they sent me home because I was sitting there and I'm hanging out and Chelsea and Amanda were there at the time and I left to go get some food or something because I felt miserable or just get some water. I come back in and they're like trying to help Liz out with feeding the baby and I was like come in there and Chelsea and Amanda have her breasts trying to figure it out. I'm like,
Steve's like, I like where this is
Like, this is
going.
kind of awesome. But anyway, later that night they sent me home because I was sick. Like I had a fever or something, so they sent me home.
It was pretty great.
Amazing. I slept in bed, best night's sleep, and I'm like, all right, wake up in the
Slept in
morning. I'm
bed
like,
by yourself.
guess I should probably head back over to the hospital.
It's noon.
That's a dad hack if you're looking to get murdered.
Yeah, right. No, I remember, though, being having to leave to go get food or whatever, and then you just feel like an asshole because you come back and you're just like, belly's full, like, feeling great. And she's
Yeah.
just looking at you like, I haven't eaten in 36 hours.
And you're gonna be surrounded by every fast food restaurant at Lake West.
Oh, yeah.
McDonald's is in the same parking lot.
I brought a lot of jerky and it was second time around. Brought some like jerky and trail mix and shit like that. And and then like be comfortable.
Yeah, be comfortable is number one.
Don't be wearing like jeans, and,
Shorts and a cutoff.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I was I had jeans and a hoodie on, and I was, during the whole birthing process, I was like, can I take my sweatshirt off? I'm sweating pretty bad. Well, you want to talk about getting some freaking looks.
I'm sorry. Are you uncomfortable, Steve?
Yeah. Actually, yes, I'm sweating.
It's dripping down my back.
Yeah, I could feel it. I think Bruno did something like that. He said his back hurt or something like that. He like bent over. He's like, oh. You okay? Yeah, my back really hurts.
A little sore. I need to take a breather.
Yeah, you guys got a bed I could lay down in?
Anybody tag in for me?
I mean, it's funny and we make jokes about all that kind of stuff, but like
real life.
seriously, make yourself like she's not going to be comfortable.
No, there's no
like
chance.
there's no chance. Do everything you can to help that out, but also like think about yourself a little bit because no one else is going to, and they shouldn't.
So
No, because you're the least important person.
bring
in
the
the room.
PS4.
We might need to play some songs. What a bad idea is it a dad hack? Speaking of everybody sleeping.
Right.
I can get around.
Yeah.
Get on comms.
Yeah.
Gotta be quiet, guys.
Anybody on? All right, quiet. I got the headset.
Yeah, I'm not going to encourage that, but if you do,
I'm not gonna say it's a bad idea. Yeah, keep us posted.
Yeah, you'll see me.
yeah.
Hey, I'm right in the backyard, so if you need anything,
Oh yeah, that's true.
slip into the lobby. Just saying.
That's true.
I think you'll have a good time. It'll be fun. You will. I say that comically, but also truthfully. Like you will have a
Take
good
it in,
time
man.
with it.
It's
You guys will
pretty.
have a good time
It's a
with it.
pretty crazy time. It's scary. It's terrifying and awesome all at the same time.
Yeah, I'm excited for the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, I'm scared too. Like, because it's something I don't know.
right.
Yeah, exactly. It's
exactly what
it's a
it
complete
is.
change in your lifestyle all around. Everything's
Yeah.
completely. It's like boom, changed. Everything's different. It's,
Like my brother tells me, he's like, I can't wait for this to happen because your fucking life as you know it is done.
Here's the deal too. It's like you're already. I mean, we're all homebodies, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody is right now, actually. But
Right.
in
Even
general,
before
right
that.
now though, at this where we are in our lives, it's like it's not a terrible thing. It's like, you know what? Stay home. Nothing's changed. You're not missing anything. You don't have that FOMO. Like, oh man, I could be out with the boys right now. Like, you know what I mean?
Boys aren't out.
Exactly.
Like,
Nobody's doing anything. None of us are doing anything. We all are in the same situation. Like,
well,
we're not.
even like before COVID and everything, like nobody maybe went out once a month, twice a month, maybe.
And you'll be able to do that stuff.
Yeah,
Your life. Like everybody's like, oh man, there you go. It's over. Life's not over, man. You're gonna.
Life's
You're gonna.
just beginning.
Yeah. And you still find time to do everything that you love to do.
And it's not like I'm 22 years old going through this.
No.
36 years old.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for you, I would say, is going to be, are you going to hunt a ton next year? Probably not.
No.
You're going to go fishing or whatever you want? Probably not. But there's also times where, and I think this is important, to work it out with Allie and like, look, here's something I need to do for me. I think that you should do stuff for you. And, once you get through that 3-4 months where, all right, like kid's good, like we know what we're doing a little bit, like
Schedule things out.
Yeah.
And also push her to go have those nights
Yeah.
out. Push her to go have a girls' night out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just
Or
like,
whatever.
Hey, I got this.
Yeah.
Go do something. Go enjoy yourself for a little while, and then you do the same thing. You got to do it too. I mean, you have to.
Well, she already said, she's like, you are hunting next year. I said, well, I hope so. She's like, but you're not going every night after work like you did this
Yeah,
year.
that all changes.
And
it's not.
And I'm like, well, no, but like on a Saturday morning, if we plan it out,
it's things to do for yourself are super important.
you got to keep your
and
sanity.
It keeps your sanity and
keeps everything healthy in general.
yeah, but then too, like your priorities will change too. Like for example, like I haven't been hunting in
5 years.
probably like 3 years, 4 years, maybe longer. I don't even know. But it's not like I don't do anything. Like again,
Yeah, we still-
did we started the podcast thing, and like this is my escape now. This is what helps me, be me and reset me for the week.
Yeah, you get to go hang out and do something
and
like
it's not
this.
like you're never not going to hunt again either.
No,
yeah,
dude. Like I mean, I went fishing with you
Yeah.
this year. Like
Right.
I still went out and did that a couple times, and
Yeah.
I still have gone guys' night out, like
Yeah.
diaper party or like something that's scheduled too. It's like,
Right.
hey, so next
that's
week
the
I'm gonna
difference.
go. Yeah, it's scheduled.
The things that come up and like, hey, we're gonna go over here and watch the game. Like, that just doesn't happen anymore as much.
Yeah, but I mean, there are times too where it's like day of or day before. I'm like, hey, by the way, I have this tomorrow. Okay,
Right.
cool. Or you're clear, right? Okay, I'm gonna go do this. She's okay, fine, cool. We'll do it.
Yeah, that's
It's how it goes, man. It's awesome. It
give
all
and
works
take,
out.
man. Give and take.
Give and
That's
take.
it.
It's everything. It's the most important thing.
That's it.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Whoa.
All right, dude. This was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Glad you came on. I'm super happy for you guys. I can't wait to see you fill into that dad role. You're going to be a great dad. I mean, you've had tons of role models for being a dad, and I think you're going to be great.
No, I appreciate
Yeah, we're not
having me on
we're not
this.
worried about you. You're good, man.
I appreciate that.
And we're always around too.
And it'll be fun to talk
Not to
you.
babysit, but to talk
yeah.
to. We'll talk
Yeah,
to you.
we don't babysit.
We don't do that.
No, I don't babysit your kids.
Yeah.
Hey,
You could give it a whirl though.
Yeah, if you want to see what a 3 and 5 is like, send them over.
good.
No, it's going to be a ton of fun. I'm super happy for you guys. So, yeah,
I
proud of you.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for
good
coming out,
time.
man. It's
Appreciate
fun
it.
hanging out.
Always.
Till next time. Yeah. Anything else that you want to say before we sign off?
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely, man.
It's a good time
fun.
catching up.
It's fun hanging out, buddy.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. Well, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe on any podcast form that you use: Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio.
Everything.
Yeah.
All of them.
Follow us on the socials and check out the website, www.thetalkingdads.com.
Get you some swag.
Oh, yeah. Get you some.
Look at that hat. Look at that hat.
Those actually aren't even available.
Yeah,
No,
that's actually exclusive.
I'm special.
Yeah, you
You're
are.
actually the only one outside of me and Steve that have those.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You should feel pretty.
I feel blessed.
Yeah,
I can't
you
even
are.
see the top of your head.
I know, it's weird.
Crazy how that happens.
I know. It's like this floating suburban dad on his head. It's the weirdest thing.
Crazy.
All right,
So-
yeah. Do all that kind of stuff. Follow us. Tell your friends about the show. Until next time, we will see you later.
Thank you.
Peace.
Hey guys, if you love what you just heard or watched, and we know you did, do us a solid and hit that thumbs up. Share with your friends and throw us a comment, literally about anything. Your support legit keeps us going. Oh, and don't forget to give us that 5-star rating. We really appreciate you.